we're in. I'm sorry.
Merry Christmas
And a Happy New Year.
Yeah.
It's literally Christmas.
Yeah, it's literally.
It is.
Unless
Christmas.
you're Jewish, and then
It
it's
is.
been Hanukkah.
I mean, it's still literally Christmas, even if you're
Christmas.
Jewish.
You don't know what time it is, but it's Christmas. It's Christmas time. That's all you need to know about.
No, dude, I got a knife.
No, we don't need a fucking knife.
Are we only doing audio tonight?
Only audio tonight.
No, the camera's.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
If you paid the $1, then you can see my pretty face. And then
Actually, this
beautiful locks of
Yeah, this one's free.
This one's free.
It's free.
Oh, it's free? Cool.
This one is free.
Crimbus.
The gift,
I lied.
the gift of first, right?
Coupons.
Krampsmas.
It's the 25th.
Oh, that looks dangerous.
What?
You said the gift of first?
Oh boy. And in the in the spirit of Christmas and togetherness, we're gonna talk about The Last Jedi.
Yeah.
Yep.
And drank champagne. Champagne.
The Last Jedi has really unified the country. We can all just gather up around that.
No.
Holy shit.
No.
Just make sure it hits the ceiling.
But no lights.
Okay.
No lights.
All right. Okay. Not the lights,
It's a
please.
twist top, which is super weird. I'm holding it on my
Oh, is it still gonna pop?
Barely.
Okay.
Woo!
All right.
There you go.
Oh,
Yeah.
lame.
What if that had just shot and hit one of my one of
I
my
was
light
trying
bulbs
really hard to...
to do it?
I'm sorry.
Aw, look at it.
Oh, almost made a miss. Obviously not my first serving job.
Oh, by the way, one of these glasses have been poisoned. Which one? I will not tell you.
The glass.
Probably mine.
Proceed.
Not yours. Maybe.
The most easily identifiable of these.
Let it breathe. Once, yeah.
No.
No.
Not champagne.
Oh. Oh, thank you, sir.
I feel like there's something wrong with this.
What?
I don't know.
All right.
Hey, audience, if you can tell me what's wrong with me serving everybody, let me
I'm not gonna drink this from the sheer fact that this.
It's very racist.
I get
Yes.
it. It's the one thing that's different about Coco between us.
Yeah, right?
He has a kid, you know?
He's wearing
like,
glasses.
And a hoodie.
he's probably used to serving people.
Oh, he's wearing no jacket. Never mind.
Right? He had a kid.
Nolan, you got the smallest glass. You get the leftovers, okay?
Okay.
Oh wow.
He's got itty bitty little glass.
Hey, guys.
This tastes terrible.
Merry Christmas.
I posted it.
Happy holidays and a
Cheap
very
food.
happier New Year.
Wish you had some orange juice. We could drink mimosa.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
Oh
No.
I didn't think
When in
about
doubt,
it.
man, if it was morning.
Champagne.
No one knew you were bringing champagne, and we would have gotten orange juice.
Yeah.
Terrible.
Yep.
Oh.
Sangria.
We have orange juice.
It's old.
Yeah.
That tastes like dirt.
I'll take it. I enjoy it.
It's very
Tastes like-
tangy,
Yeah.
sparkling
I like
dirt.
Shitty white grape juice.
I survived 3 months
with
alone in the
alcohol in
woods on nothing but dirt and
think-
worms.
This white grape
Dirt
juice went bad.
They were in the dirt. Dirt and worms. My old papa, you taught me all you need are worms and dirt.
This is worse.
Yeah. It's like, it tastes good. Not good, but it tastes.
it
When you
tastes.
put it to your nose, it has a certain
It has an appeal.
earthy effervescence to it.
See, I mean, but yeah, I mean, I
Makes me want
like.
to throw up right now. I've had like 2 sips.
Not enjoying
For
yourself?
real.
That's all right. Take your time.
Yeah,
I
is
just-
it the
like,
carbonation?
Look, and
Maybe I
it's
should have
probably
given you that
carbonation.
glass.
It just does.
It
I'm
does
not a big
kind of
fan
look
of
like
whites.
it does kind of like bubbly, frothy piss.
Yeah.
Drink it like
That's
a
exactly
regular
what-
wine.
It's carbonated piss. Yeah.
A little betterment to it.
Mm.
Somebody's got kidney issues.
Oh, you're taking photos. What's good?
All right.
So, about The Last Jedi.
Yeah.
Yep.
No, it's a movie.
It's
It is a movie.
Look,
It's the last
did you
one
see that
apparently
on
now.
the spot?
No, Last
Most recent
Jedi.
on the spot?
Yeah.
At the end, towards the end of it, they did one of the segment where they have to bounce back and forth with a word.
Yeah.
Was it quick thinking? What it is?
I think so.
But they're doing that, and who was it? It was Patrick and the guy from fan service. What is his name?
Cole?
Yes. And
Oh.
they're going back and forth, and as they're going back and forth, they ended up with such a fucking mess of a sentence or a paragraph that when the booth couldn't actually figure out what they had said. And so whenever they brought it up on screen, it just said The Last Jedi was a good movie. And it was. I actually really enjoyed that movie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It really was.
I need to see it a second time, but yeah,
Definitely.
I'm pretty back and forth with it.
I have heard that it is
On
better
some
a
points.
second time. And
Oh,
Yeah, oh yeah,
I
for sure.
was very aware of what everything that was going on, and the photography in itself was brilliant. I told that
Feels
literally take any scene from that and make it your DVD cover, and it was
Fun,
dude.
fun fact: in the casino scene,
I
that
could
little
argue one that I
tiny-
wouldn't be okay with.
the tiny creature that was putting the things into BB-8, the tokens.
Yeah.
That was Mark Hamill doing the voice
Was it?
of it. Yeah,
And
our
the
great
mocap.
Luke Skywalker, and the mocap, which is also like that's one of my. I did not really enjoy the casino.
Oh
That-
no, that was.
Yeah, Cannabite.
I felt like it could have just. They could have gone by the wayside. with it.
Yeah.
Like it was.
It's just a dumb bar scene that they
I
were
think it
trying
was
to
a
recreate.
nod to the cantina
No,
scene.
but
I
I
don't
don't,
think
I don't need a nod,
Yeah.
even if it was or wasn't. I didn't.
I don't
enjoy
think
it.
that I don't think it was a nod at all to the cantina scene. There wasn't anything really similar about the beat at all.
It's just.
Well, okay,
And-
it's not the beat. It's like the overall feel and like what the music is doing, and it's like the same sort of like illustration of a people. Like they're doing a parallel between like the like extravagance of a wealthy class
Yeah.
to the like depravity.
Was anybody-
in
yeah.
Tatooine.
I thought that was that part of it. I thought was well done, and a big complaint I see about the Canto Bight scene was the fact that it led nowhere. But I mean, the fucking the fucking space worm in Empire Strikes Back didn't lead anywhere, add anything to the plot. And that could
Right.
It was there.
but it was there.
Yeah.
And the good guys can't always win. Like as someone who has a problem with Hollywood always playing it safe, and you can always tell that the good guys are always going to win every ideas, even if it's not a good idea, it always ends up working out. The fact that a plan went awry, and it was the fact that a plan went awry is why things went so bad.
Right.
That was good. What was not good about the Canto Bight scene was it felt like Earth. It did not feel like
I get that.
like that's my complaint about it was like the set dressing and like
Even the atmosphere.
The
I thought it was
yeah.
just like too
Yeah.
comedy driven.
Well,
Like
okay.
that
What?
entire
I feel like
entire bit.
That I feel like that.
Oh,
okay, so
yeah,
that
that
entire
bit,
scenario
yeah.
was set up for them to be able to get.
Yeah, a
Finn
lot of the
and,
movie, too.
What is her name?
Rose.
Rose. Finn and Rose. To I don't know. I for some reason have a problem with her being named Rose, but it was my biggest complaint now. I feel like it was just an entire a way for them to get them to Snoke's ship, you know, which it was a big ploy for them to just be able to get there and be there whenever Rey shows up, you know, and just be a whole thing. But I feel like
Ray
it
ends
was
up
more
going to the ship anyways.
right. I feel like it was more of a way to break for Finn's character development.
Yes.
It was
Yeah.
him discovering that the people that he thinks are bad guys are actually selling to both the good guys and the bad guys, or the good guys actually the good guys.
Well,
Or
he's seeing the gray area
yes,
between the
it's,
two.
it's no longer simply good guy, bad guy. It's whichever side is viewing whichever side is obviously thinking they're the good guy.
And you got to think about where you last left Finn off. When we last saw Finn,
Unconscious.
yeah, and the reason why he was
in the
because he
tubes
was going to save Rey, not to fight for the Resistance, not for any kind of ideal. He was going to save his friend, and that was blatantly all he cared about. And when he woke up, that was still all he cared about. He didn't care about the Resistance. He's like, these guys are
Yeah.
doomed. I'm going to save my friend.
Right.
Finn needed that confrontation with like right and wrong and the gray area in between to actually figure out his own allegiance and everything, which is why I'm glad that Rose saved him at the end of the movie, because that would have been a waste of character for him
Yeah,
to be
man.
like
Oh, man.
actually
I
like
just,
come
like-
into his
Yeah.
own and then just kill him off immediately.
I think that was like the biggest moment that I was on the edge of my seat in that movie.
Is he-
Honestly, was in the midst of him going towards it. I was just like, are you serious? Are you serious? Right? Like I was actually worried.
Yeah.
That doesn't happen often. I feel like for me, like I'm actually worried if this character is about to die.
It felt like they should have, at the point where they were actually heading down to the planet, or rather right before, were this still AT-ATs?
The big ones?
Yeah. They're
Well,
not
they're
AT-ATs.
not
AT-ATs.
They're more of
primal
they're an A
gorilla.
advanced.
Yeah, they had fingers on the.
They
Did they?
They're
walked
gorilla
around.
walkers.
Yeah,
They're
hands,
walkers.
yeah.
Gorilla walkers.
Gorilla
yeah.
walkers.
So,
That's
okay.
cool.
That at that point,
I'm sure they could be used
I
for
felt as
climbing.
if the movie should have ended right there. That dramatic build up into
Just to end right there?
seeing them versus the AT Walker.
Well, Ray
Yes.
Ray hadn't reacquainted herself with the rest of
Okay,
the.
that makes sense. But
Yeah, that's you're never gonna see
But
a
I mean,
Star Wars
kinda
movie
like-
somewhere like
How
that.
long
I
was
just
the
feel like
runtime
there
on
should
this?
have been
ATM,
I mean,
M6.
They've done the
AT-M6.
same thing in the original 6 movie, or the original 3 movies. I'm sorry. Like I mean, with
I mean, at this point,
Luke
it's like the original
being on Dagobah at the end of a movie, not with his.
Right, but that
But
was.
they didn't show Rey and what she was.
Oh yeah,
Right.
It
She-
was too big of a deal
Yeah.
to just end at that point.
She
She
was-
was in the thick of it.
Right. She was on her way there. She
Yeah.
I mean,
had
like, okay,
participated
so,
in the
like,
conflict.
If it had
She-
shown the ATM-6s walking towards the rebellion, and then you see Rey and Chewie come in to the planet, and then cut the movie right there,
That could work.
It would have would have gave me that feeling of what's happening next. Because
I feel
now,
like that being the beginning of the next movie would not be as hype.
Yeah, I don't either.
Right.
I don't want to start a movie with that much
okay,
hype.
well, I mean, you end 5 with Han Solo and Carbonite, and then
That's
get
not that
to
big. That's not
start
as big.
six-
That's
start
not as
six
big
on
as a
completely
giant
different-
battle where Luke Skywalker is going to be taking on Kylo Ren.
Well, no.
Yeah,
we're
I'm-
saying not end before that conflict, but
Oh.
to end after that has happened as Rey's approaching. Like, Rey hasn't met up with the rest of the group yet. Like, I can see that kind of...
No, that happened. Ray comes in during the actual
During the
battle that's
battle,
going
yeah.
on.
Yeah, I'm saying...
And then Luke shows up because
Right, yeah.
while Luke is confronting Kylo, nothing else is going on.
Right.
And Ray is trying to find
The access,
find
yeah.
find
Yeah.
and I have
get
to disagree
I
with that.
actually do too.
Because
I want to.
that entire movie is building focus the entire movie is building up to Luke's redemption. And if you don't have that movie does not have its linchpin.
Okay, that's fair.
Man, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
I'm not saying
I
take
was going
that
to say
away.
9 is going to be something that the only thing that's hyped up right now is Kylo versus Rey. That's the only thing I can really foresee.
I mean, with the
I don't
story
know if
of
they're gonna-
Poe and like and Hux and like all of them, it's
Man,
a good
this-
intertwine.
The,
that they
the,
have.
resist, the resistance is more broken than the rebellion ever was. The resistance is on more dire straits than the rebellion ever was going from here.
It's
What
like
is there,
it's like a
400
reality
of
TV
them?
show. And
Like Ray and I love Ray and Kylo's interaction and their chemistry and everything and their back and forth, but that's not even
scene set where you feel like they're in the same room, but they're obviously
yeah, and he looks down and his hand has water on it.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
It was super good.
But that's not even the most interesting thing going into 9. It's literally the war and what happens next, because we had one of the few things that was like a straight up homage was obviously the throne room scene. Was a throwback to Return of the Jedi. But that was the beginning of the third act, and it was a complete subversion of what happened in Jedi. We're in completely new territory of what's going to happen
That's why I say I wanted something to give me something to look forward to more. Rather, I understand that the plot points are still there, but visually there was nothing leading up to it. You know what I mean? There was no suspense on it, unless you're feeling for the Resistance, and like there was nothing that was standing out to me that was making me feel like, you know, I understand what's happening with the Resistance, but I feel like
with the central conflict being between the Resistance and the First Order, and we end with a celebration scene of the Resistance, even though they're in a much more like compromised position than the First Order.
I don't really think it's a celebration scene though, any more than like
Well,
the last
happy,
the last, but any more than like the last shot of Empire of Luke and Leia on the ship, and you know, the Millennium Falcon flying off, like live to fight another day kind of thing. At least we made it through that one, because that was a really close call.
There's like some handshaking and some like
That was a really
smiling.
close.
It's
episode 8 had really good close calls.
That scene is a
all over the
relief,
place.
is what I'm saying.
I feel like
from the tension of the previous scenes.
Oh yeah, but I think they can say the same thing about the end of 5, and it's just as dark of a moment, and it's still just as dark of a, you know, this one doesn't have a clear cut of a, you know, we've got to go rescue Han Solo. We don't have, it's not as easily laid out for us as that is, but I feel like the conflict ahead is very clear, and whether or not that that kid at the end of the movie is going to factor into episode 9.
Interesting. Force powers?
Yeah.
Very interesting, dude.
Right.
Maybe
I
that.
got a hell of a kick out of that.
But then communicating.
Now the kid's sweeping the floor.
Are we sure that they're only
Picks the
gonna?
room up.
Are we sure that they're only gonna end at 9?
There's been no
10, 11, 12 for the guy that just directed.
no. It's not gonna be 10, 11, 12. It's just gonna be like
His own trilogy.
his own trilogy. There hasn't been, because there was only ever planned 9 episodes, and then because
Because
7
of the Skywalker.
yeah 7
But
through
Disney
9,
can ring that out.
7 through 9 was originally going to be the search for Luke's sister, and then George was just like, fuck it, just make it Leia. And then of course 1 through 3 were always going to be the prequels.
Yeah.
So
The Vader origins.
yeah, the Vader origins. So there was never a
Why does that
plan.
sound cooler?
Vader's
We already get to kind of see Vader origins though.
The
I
be-
mean,
You
the
do, it's just shitty.
yeah, it's, like,
Yeah.
it's not a very good. Like the only
I
real
love
Vader.
you, like
But that would have been more interesting. Vader origins is to like have
better
have 1 and 2,
better
complete-
script.
1 and 2 complete the Clone Wars, and then 3 be like Darth Vader building up until
Yeah.
the Death Star. You know,
That was what was so cool.
I don't. I think
But
that
the
I think the
Hint
timeline
that
and where
Death Star
they
plans in 2,
right.
which is pretty cool.
like
Which was hype as fuck.
where the timeline of when the movies were set, the political backdrop, and everything is perfectly fine. It's just the execution
Yeah.
and the perspective you're given. Like the relationship with Padme isn't the full weight of what did it. That's the straw that broke the camel's back. What should have gotten more attention is the hypocrisy of the Jedi Order.
Yes, yeah, absolutely. You're completely right. Them telling him he can't be a master because he doesn't have his emotions in check, and he's met all the qualifications, and he's supposed to be the chosen one. and
What
all
if they
that
would have?
is-
What if they would have let him become a like? What if they would have actually get a seat?
Yeah, in essence,
He would have
they
been some
validate
emotional
his,
baby on
his
the
issues.
council.
What?
He probably would have killed off old Jedi's, raised.
Do you think he would have still been bad though?
I
No.
think
If they gave him what he wanted.
it's debatable.
If Anakin had been able to go to Yoda or Obi-Wan or somebody and say, "Hey,
I'm not
my wife, yeah, I know, fuck you.
Like I messed up.
But
she's pregnant.
She's pregnant and she's gonna die, and I'm freaking out." If he'd been able to actually have that conversation with the Jedi Order, he never would have returned because that lack of confidence and faith in them.
If Qui-Gon Jinn would have never done
Yeah.
it, yeah,
Yeah.
it would have been everything. Would have
Because
been
They've been
Qui-Gon
fine.
Jinn would have felt it in the living force because he wasn't, because that's the whole thing about Luke in this movie is
he can feel the midichlorians.
it's
Sorry,
it's getting back to the Force and not to the Jedi as a religion, because the Jedi were so attached to their dogma and their code and everything that they allowed.
That, which was an excellent throwback scene for Yoda in this.
Oh,
recent
yeah.
burning it, just getting rid of it. 'cause he understood
But
it
did
now.
you catch? They even. It's actually in there twice. If you act, because people are just dumb and don't even notice. But Rey kept the books.
Yeah, she did. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
Because the first time when you see her like put her clothes up as she's folding them and first getting on the Falcon, you see them there in that drawer, and then again whenever Finn opens the drawer later to
I
get
just
something
like
out of
Yoda's
it.
pure understanding of the folly of the Jedi being.
Yeah. That's a good thing.
It was super good. Like him smiting the fucking tree.
Yeah.
Oh,
and
man.
it explains his status as a hermit too.
Yeah. Why he
Like,
gave
why
up on the
why
Jedi
in
Order.
particular? Yeah. Because Luke had his own reasons, Obi-Wan had his own reasons, and now we know.
I mean,
Yoda
Yoda was
sort of
he
on a
exiled
similar
himself after
That's why he
failing.
said he was a Terminator.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Oh yeah.
He didn't exile himself because he failed.
Failed,
He said
yeah.
The Jedi Order because the Jedi Order failed, and he realized the folly of the
He
Jedi
failed.
Order. Yeah. I mean, he was.
He still
alive.
failed. That's
failed
him.
along
Even
with
though
him,
he
yeah.
still told Luke to create a new Jedi Order.
Yeah.
He told Luke to pass on what he had learned. He didn't say to create a new
Yeah.
No,
order.
no. He knew that. Yeah, he knew there wasn't. But that's what Luke knew
That's
was
what-
from Obi-Wan about that.
And that's what Yoda had passed on to Qui-Gon, right? Was Qui-Gon Yoda's?
Yeah.
I mean,
everyone
everyone is-
was Yoda's apprentice
Because
at
Yoda
one
taught
point.
taught the younglings.
Right, and so I feel like Qui-Gon had the best understanding, and he passed that
Dooku
down
was the only
to-
one that went longer
Yeah,
than that.
I think so. Yeah,
I'm pretty sure. Dooku and maybe the other people. I'm not sure though. I don't think
Qui-Gon
so.
was Dooku's apprentice.
Yeah.
Which how does he not?
Which
seem
was
like a
his
villain?
original name was.
He's not what?
Right?
How does he not seem like a villain?
Count
Yeah.
Dooku. His
I mean-
Sith name is Darth Tyrannus.
He could be a good guy.
Oh really?
Yeah,
Count Dooku.
It's just Tyrannus.
Darth Tyrannus.
Dark Tyrannus. Every time I hear it, all I think is sex separate.
Tyrannosaurus
No,
Rex.
sex separate Tyrannus.
Okay.
I am the tyrant. That's what John Wilkes Booth screamed after he killed.
Death to
Death to
Tyrant.
tyrants.
Yeah, Death to Tyrants. That's my bad. Sorry.
I am the tyrant.
I am the tyrant.
I am the tyrant now. I killed the tyrant. I'm the tyrant now. That's how it works. My leg.
All right, so let's see. Go through some big beats of the film.
One funny thing, whenever we went to go see the movie, whenever Luke comes out to Leia, like he's walking up to her.
Whenever Luke comes out to live, that's in the director's cut.
I did not get that subtext, but
Whenever
That's why he was going into fucking
Not-
Kylo Ren's room.
whenever he
the
walks.
other day, made me realize something.
Walks in holding his saber. All right.
That was the first. That was the first woman I'd seen in forever, and I just wasn't attracted. Then Chewbacca kicked in my door, and I was like, "Hey,
Where's Han?
But
You didn't forget about Han, did you?
cool, like a super cool thing that like whenever he was walking out of the darkness and went to go like talk to Leia and everything, first thing I noticed was the fact that he didn't have the shaggy rags going on and the gray beard. He looked like the younger one that they had showed him as he was about to just fucking drop Kylo Ren in his sleep. But I leaned over to Nolan and I was just like, so he decided to get all shaved up and dye his hair before he came out here.
It put me in a predicament because I couldn't be like, he is projecting himself across space and time.
He was just like, no, shut up, just shut up. I was like, okay, all right. But that was probably one of my favorite moments in the movie was him. That force power's got to be strong to go planets away.
That is the most powerful display of the Force we have ever seen in canon, possibly ever at all.
I don't know, Ray's getting there, man.
Starkiller was pulling like
I need to address
Is that
this.
canon?
Yeah, it was.
No,
I don't know what the new.
It's not canon. Doesn't count.
It's not canon.
But still, though, Starkiller was
It's
basically
GT.
what Kylo Ren is.
Right.
Like, able to pull a fucking Star Destroyer to the planet. Like,
Yeah, just like pull it out of the.
It
out of the
was
crap.
very, very interesting.
But that's all mental though. Like that is a huge point. Is the weight and size of an object is all in your head. That doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Lifting a rock is no different than lifting an X-wing to the
astral
Force.
projecting yourself across the galaxy.
Yeah.
And actually, as a physical form, not just like
Yeah, he was able.
showing different
He could touch. He touched Leia, but man, the moves that he was doing too.
I mean,
It's-
but he's been a hermit. You know what I mean? He did the Yoda thing.
But Yoda couldn't do that.
He was actually. But
I mean, he's doing it right now.
he was actually.
No, Yoda's actually showing up as a Force ghost. Like
He touched him.
But if he's
Yoda
still
isn't
controlling-
projecting himself across the galaxy like
Well, it's through death, isn't it?
Well, he isn't
He's
anywhere.
become one with the Force.
He
Well,
is.
he's like
which isn't
the
death
living
really, per
force.
se. It's like another. It's like almost like an entity.
I feel like he's like he is one. He is the Force. He is like just as much of it, and he has the.
And the Force is projecting
ability
him because Luke
he wouldn't
is
appear
comfortable with
unless
that.
Luke was
That makes sense.
there. Like he's like
I feel like he's maintained in the Force, like his
Oh, yeah.
spiritual
also
is.
in Luke's memory. Like
Yeah.
if
Luke wasn't able to need that guidance, he
right
wouldn't
then
appear.
I don't know. I
mean-
think that he does. I think that Yoda does it on his own,
Yoda,
definitely.
Obi-Wan, and
Okay,
Hayden
but-
Christensen.
Yeah.
And now Luke.
he wouldn't.
Ah.
Right, if it's the Force, just like out of body, he wouldn't need to appear as Yoda to have that
That's why
conversation.
I ask: is he crossing
No.
death, or is? Luke
But it's Yoda himself.
Okay.
He's there.
Luke is having this understanding, conversing with his understanding of the Force, which is tied into Yoda,
See,
and so it's projecting
I don't think so.
as.
I
alright,
think
well, I mean, it's like it's still the sentient form of Yoda,
yeah.
but it's just like being expressed as that because Luke is the one that's approaching the
So you're
tree.
saying that the Force is trying to bring balance to itself?
It's
Why,
Yoda-
why,
it's-
why
it
else would
sounds-
it appear as Yoda?
No, it sounds
unless
like-
he's
because
You're saying that Luke sees Yoda. It would be something else, but Luke is seeing Yoda because he knows Yoda.
yeah, because that's his like embodiment of his understanding.
Qui-Gon was the first to master
Force ghosting.
I was ready. We
Yeah.
just watched this.
Force ghosting.
Yeah.
He taught it to Yoda, who taught it to Obi-Wan, or maybe Qui-Gon taught it to Obi-Wan, and somehow Anakin learned it.
Right.
Well,
But
Anakin-
anyone that isn't like corrupted by the dark side when they die becomes part of the living Force.
Hayden Christensen.
Okay.
But if you accept your death in the moment of your death, and like it's a Jedi purification thing, you can retain your consciousness as a part of the Force. That is what Yoda's doing. It's
right.
not.
Okay. Well, yeah, that's what I'm saying.
It's
So,
not. It has nothing to do with. It has nothing to do with Luke. Yoda could show up to anybody because
right,
Yoda
but
can still
there
manifest
are
himself.
there are other beings in the living Force then.
Yeah,
And
but
so it's Yoda because he needed to be there.
yeah,
to-
but it's
to
not.
give that-
Qui-Gon could only do it to a certain point. Like he couldn't actually show his physical form because he had not mastered it to the point.
Yeah.
So
But Yoda got way further because Qui-Gon was able to show him what he already knew,
But
and he was able to
Yoda-
go
Yoda
further.
can't even
But once you've
appear.
passed,
Yeah,
That was Yoda's last time, wasn't wasn't it? He
Was
straight-
it?
I feel like he straight up said, "This is the last time I'll be able to appear."
No, he never said that.
No.
I swear.
3 times. No.
Yeah, he didn't. I don't think it's anything.
In fact, because if we were gonna see,
But okay.
if we're gonna see an old Ewan McGregor done up as Ben, I think we would have gotten that in this one.
Yeah.
So I think that Yoda's, and the same thing with Hayden Christensen. So I think that Yoda's our only like old Force Ghost we're going to get. So as long as we have Frank Oz,
That's
we're
what
going
I'm
to
saying.
get
I
Yoda.
swear, I don't know why it feels like such a vivid memory that Yoda said that, and then Luke carries on, my wayward son, and becomes the next Force Ghost to talk.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. In episode 9, like if he might end up showing
I
up.
mean, obviously, Carrie's dead. So
No, yeah, they're definitely going to bring Luke back. And one thing they did show with Yoda is Force Ghosts still have the power to interact with the physical world.
Yeah, he whaps him on the head.
Whaps him on the head, smites the tree. But no, what Luke does isn't Force ghosting like that, because that's just
No,
the
he's
Force is
like-
everywhere, and I'm just going to appear in.
No,
my-
I'm saying that in the future, like whenever he
Yeah.
gave himself up, consciousness-wise,
What are you
Yeah.
doing, man?
him becoming.
I was looking at
Ron.
Yeah.
Cheap Livers. He said, "No, you classy with a burger fries." And
Who knows,
Chicken
man?
leg,
I don't
right?
know. I don't know what that means.
I don't either.
Why do only gay guys like me?
Is that Nolan? Nolan, is that you?
Yeah. Go
Yeah,
fuck
it was
yourself.
like I don't know why he did that. So
Okay.
I commented,
Why-
spaghetti is.
That was very
How is
high.
this relevant?
Yeah.
It's not.
Sorry, it's not.
Okay.
Oh, but the way that Luke had been on that planet, looking at those books and whatnot that have all the different Jedi techniques and everything,
Yes.
and the way that you see him fight in the early, like in the first 6 and everything, he's very straightforward and everything, and the way he's moving now, like he's been reading that stuff, he's probably been training and learning, and I think it's cool to see the difference in the way Luke fought whenever he was younger to like how swift Luke is able to move now. He moves completely, just in a completely different style, and it's really cool.
It was mostly just to frustrate Kylo Ren.
But he didn't move like that at all.
No, yeah,
before.
it is very different.
Yeah, it's almost Yoda-like.
Right.
I feel like there were pretty subtle hints to him being astral projected.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like whenever he bent over backwards completely, I
Mhm.
feel like the lightsaber like may have grazed him, but not actually done it.
Yeah.
Didn't do like a close-up and watch it.
Yes,
Yeah,
that's
you,
what I'm
you
saying.
watch it
looked
like
it
pass
barely-
like right over.
It looked like it kind of caught his shirt a little bit, but it didn't do anything, and it kept going. And the rest
I don't
of
think
was
it did.
Clear. I feel like it was obviously.
I thought that Luke had already died. Like I thought that he
Oh.
died.
Oh, it
and
was
he
Force Ghost
it was
him
Force
just there.
Ghost him there. Like it blew my mind. I was like, oh shit, he's just like meditating on the rock, and
Like Leia would have already felt it if he like that would have been something that would have been shown. I feel like
Oh, yeah,
even
he died.
silently.
Luke was able
And
to
they
be
did that right
solid
after
there,
he
too.
did.
Yeah,
what
that,
Luke was
so-
able to be solid there too, right?
for the
two
Wait,
mo-
no.
two
Oh, yeah.
movies in a row, and
Okay, so
at the
he
end
dropped
where
the
Carrie
necklace.
Fisher gets
Yeah.
to go.
that's
The
that's
necklace, does the necklace
Yeah,
disappear?
the necklace disappeared whenever Kylo picked it
That's
up
what I
later.
thought. Okay,
later
so
on after he had died and everything. Like that was
Which
like one of the last.
weird, right?
Yeah.
It's weird because I feel like him dying, the necklace lasting long enough for that
So he could see it
setup.
because it
I
was
feel
his
like
dad.
Yeah,
it
he
might
knew
have
what
been
he
a
was doing.
separate like series of I don't know like
I think there was
thoughts
also maybe
and
like Leia's faith might have been
Yeah.
keeping the.
Fuck, dude. Fucking
I mean, it's-
Space Leia.
Well, dude, Space Leia.
I love
How-
Space Leia. The
yeah.
more I watch it,
No, she's like an angel in space,
Yes.
just sliding down to a
Do you
door.
not feel like that entire movie was a nice gesture for Carrie Fisher? Like,
Oh,
did you
yeah.
not feel
Yeah,
I mean, I
I'm
feel
glad
like-
that
I
they
feel
didn't
like
just,
they had already
kill her off
planned-
when it would have been like completely natural.
I
to
feel
her,
like they had
everybody
already
in
planned to
the
show
bridge
off
dies.
like she was more force sensitive. They planned on showing that
Yeah.
to begin with.
yeah, they.
But
they
no, it was just like the entirety of the movie, not killing her off, keeping her around. Every action
mean,
just felt like a beautiful thing.
that was the. I mean, they may have like, gone back and like paid extra close attention
Prettied
to
up a
editing
little bit.
and everything. Yeah, but that was the intention. They weren't planning on killing her off in this one and making her a bit more focused in this one, especially in episode 9. I think it would have been a disservice to Carrie Fisher to just be like, oh well, she's dead, so let's just kill her off as quickly
Yeah.
as possible in the movie.
Yeah.
It would have been. You're absolutely right.
And like to re-edit it and cut it together to make it make sense. So that was
Right.
how they planned it. No,
That'd
just
have been shitty.
It sucks that she won't actually be in this last part, especially after having
Technically,
such a
she
good
will be.
performance
she
in
will.
this one.
She
If they've already filmed anything,
they
Yes,
they
they've
said they
already-
have some archive footage and stuff that they can use some magic on to make it work to wrap up her story.
right?
Yeah.
But they're not
Not-
gonna like CGI her.
They have said they're not going to CGI
Yeah,
her.
that's respect.
It's not going
oh
to.
yeah.
Now the original intention with these three from Disney was 7 was going to be the Han movie, 8 was going to be the Luke movie, and 9 was going to be the Leia movie. Obviously, that's not going to be the case anymore, and that
Right.
sucks.
Yeah.
But I have faith that they have the ability to give it at least a good like closure to the story.
Right.
Yeah, man, that'd be bad because they've had 2 really good endings for like first Han and then Luke.
Yeah,
I really enjoyed the way Luke died. I wish he would have stayed alive, honestly, because I've enjoyed seeing him and Rey, like Rey actually getting to learn from him
I
and
think
seeing
he'll-
his teachings.
I think you'll still get more of it in episode 9
I hope so.
because I don't think that.
See, I don't feel like they'd use him for something like that extensive. I feel like it would be just one of those when she's down. That's whenever he comes in and like saves the day, kind of.
I don't know because
That's what they did with Yoda anyway. So.
when did Yoda ever come in and save
Well,
the
I mean,
day?
not like physically save the day, like just talking. Like he talked to Luke and gave him a little bit of wisdom, and
No,
that's
yeah.
that's what I mean.
Yeah.
It's an emotional save the day, not like physically comes in and is like, "Hey, bitches, I'm gonna save the day."
Right.
He gives Luke a sense of validation, which
Yeah.
in turn, I guess, motivates him to
Save the day.
Yeah, like to do what he's going to do. But I mean, yeah, it is something both internal and
Yeah.
that's
I think this is probably my favorite
Oh,
Yoda performance out of the whole series.
I love them bringing him back in classic form.
You
and
mean
bringing him
episode
back.
3?
He was like new, old school.
yeah. I wonder how they did that effect. Did they have like a puppet?
There was some CGI over it.
Yeah.
Like,
it was a puppet with just some glow on it. And it was
I was off-putting to me the first time, like at the beginning of it. Like it wasn't until like a little bit after, and like different camera views of him where I actually enjoyed it.
yeah.
I don't know. I mean, at that rate, I feel the same way about episode 5 Yoda.
I love episode 5 Yoda.
You know, well, it's the same. It's
I,
the same.
I love no, it's just a straight puppet
just-
though.
but
There's no
it-
CGI like
you
layover
know what
on
I
it. It's
No, episode 3,
When I
Yoda.
rewatched
Entirely correct.
the
that's what I just said to him. Yeah, doing the flips and
no-
shit.
Oh yeah, flips and shit.
the seagulls thing.
Yeah.
That even when I watch that,
Someday,
it still looks odd
when you
to me.
are
Yeah,
older.
maybe it's just what I'm used to. Shut up.
You could get hit by a bullet.
But like, I feel like I enjoyed this one because it was such a callback. You know, and it made it feel good to me. Pure Yoda.
which is like the polar opposite of the critics' like perspective on this.
Oh yeah.
I don't.
Which-
like.
Yeah, Star Wars fans are indeed cancer. They're like they're either clinging to what they already know and they're like bullshit fan theories, or they're
Oh yeah.
Oh, your
fucking-
movie didn't fit my fan theory. So
Jar
fuck
Jar
you.
Binks.
Yeah. They started to
Jar
believe
Jar
they
Binks
believe their
was
fan
secret.
theories so hard that they're
Yeah.
just like, yeah, no, this sucked. My idea was better. Fuck you and all of your directing and writing.
or
I
they
don't-
had a weird attachment to Snoke, which I don't.
I
can't
I,
quite-
I wanted Snoke to stay for the next movie as
I'm
well.
so glad they killed him
Yeah.
off.
I
He's
loved-
such
I
a
see-
cartoon villain.
As I said, I wanted him to, but I really like the turn of events of Kylo becoming the head already and getting a whole new movie with him being the head of the
'Cause we've
First Republic.
done the whole master apprentice
Yeah.
thing. Like
Yeah.
we've
It's
been
nice
down
to
that
jump
road.
Jump that gap.
Yeah.
Now he's a master.
It's
The
just
thing is that
What if he takes the little kid?
the fan theorists got butthurt because like there's a lot going around about like who is Snoke, and everybody gave a fuck about who he secretly was. Was he actually Darth Plagueis?
No.
And like, was he able to like, or was he the guy from Knights of the Old Republic where he was
Revan
able-
or Malak?
Yeah, Revan. Whenever he was able to like, project
That's-
himself into the spiritual realm, and then he
Yeah.
found a way
No.
to harness energy from other beings.
Turns out it's just a hologram.
Did you guys
Cool.
notice
That's
how much
just a
he had
giant hologram.
changed between?
First and second.
Yeah.
What do you mean?
Snoke.
He had changed so much. He was so ugly in the.
He was just a
In the first-
shitty hologram in the seventh one.
That still shows somewhat of a good detail.
He had plenty of
But, like,
all
in-
the holes and all over.
No, like the only thing you could really tell was like a skinny face and then like the minor cracking in his skull.
I'd
He's
And then the
gaunt.
second
He has
one,
very
it's,
defined
like, very, very
cheekbones, and he's got
deformed.
a huge forehead
It's
that has like a
with
gash in
holes,
it.
yeah. Like
But-
he's got
yeah, it
gashes.
looked-
Like part of his throat is like missing here.
Yeah.
It's just darkness.
And it's using that electricity is what
Yeah, it's gaunt.
Using
is
what?
what like using electricity ability like really wears and tears on the body, and it showed that during the Chancellor era.
Well, that was part. I mean, that was
It's
majorly him
this guy's
using
name.
it and getting hit.
It
back.
redirected
Yeah,
back
it got redirected back at him by
Mace Windu.
Mace Windu.
Yeah.
Well, the thing is,
And that's what caused
The
him to
late
start
Mace
looking
Windu.
like that.
it
wasn't the power.
Him utilizing it.
I don't think so.
The thing about dark side energy is that you're utilizing your own life force.
Yeah.
The actual force itself, and that's why it drained him to make him old. It was that he never used his powers as the senator. He always was just like regular.
No,
It
he
was
was
being redirected back at him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was Mace Windu hitting him back with it.
Yeah.
Mace Windu wasn't hitting him back with.
Yes,
With
he
his
was.
lightsaber.
Yeah,
It was
he
reflecting.
shot it back down at him.
And-
If it wasn't for Anakin coming up and chopping
stop
off his hand, classic. He would have killed Palpatine because he was redirecting it back at him.
I'm gonna go rewatch that scene because I swear to God, when he starts using it, he starts fading.
He is
Yeah.
fading, but it wore more.
His eyes
on
may have
him
turned
because
yellow, but that
he
would have
was
probably been it.
That's just
using
that's
it,
just
and it was being used on
Sith.
himself.
That's just
and
what they
killing
do.
him.
Their eyes turn yellow.
His own energy that he was using as a negative force was being directed back as a negative force on him, so it was
it's
double the toll.
doubling.
Yeah.
Okay, so it's made him age quicker, but he was losing it. Is what I recall.
It-
Is him losing
The dark,
It-
the
it
dark side of
wouldn't-
the force has a toll on you the same way that the light side of the force has like a positive effect on your like physical.
Helps
it's
you grow
it's
angel
Fable,
wings.
right? Where you eat like the butterfly.
Yeah.
Like,
That's what I was thinking. Yeah.
I mean, like
It
I know.
wouldn't have
But instead
happened
of a
that
butterfly,
quickly.
you become part of it.
Yeah, to become a butterfly.
What?
The-
To Palpatine? Yeah.
Yeah, it
no,
wouldn't have
no.
happened that quickly
No.
without
The
it being
scars,
directly
yeah.
redirected.
Yeah, I'm
Right.
saying like
That was a deformation.
So I'm right in believing that as it started, it was a slow degradation, but as it was redirected, it, like he said,
I'm
doubled it and increased
pretty
the
sure
degradation.
Palpatine even mentions that it was because of his attack that.
I mean, he was kind of lying to the Senate.
Oh yeah, that's
through his
right.
teeth
Yeah,
in that
yeah. He was
moment.
talking to people there.
I was
Yeah. Just
But back to Snoke. Where in, and I've watched episode 7 a few times this last week. Where in episode 7 does it ever like lead you to believe that Snoke's identity or history is at all important to the story?
Nowhere.
It's just
But that's the point. It makes you
You kind of
interested
get
in
to
him.
see a little
You-
bit.
It's
you
like
wanna
Jaren's
know.
fucking backstory, dude.
Yeah.
Like you just want to know. You know what I mean? And
I can
that's what-
understand.
It
I can
upsets you 'cause
understand
you don't.
wanting to know.
That's what drove them insane. Is the theorists believing, especially with all the Darth Plagueis.
Yeah, they get. But yeah, he had so many likenesses to Darth Plagueis that everybody. Yeah, and
well, not
that.
like this.
None at all.
No, being it was the fact that he was so tall. That was the biggest
it was
one.
Very
It was
far-fetched.
an inconsistent being that came almost seemingly out of nowhere to be such a Darth Lord, and not necessarily being a Darth Lord, but you know what I'm saying.
Yeah, how did he- where did he
was
come from?
powerful. He was a powerful Sith, and nobody knew about him, so everybody wanted to know.
Not a Sith dark side user. There's a difference.
Hey man,
Yeah,
KOTOR
Sith is a race.
Sith is a race.
Well,
Yeah,
at
I
this
mean, could
point,
he-
Sith is a
ideology.
very exclusive ideology.
Yeah.
But I mean,
Yeah,
it
kinda
just
like the
seems
KKK.
A cool point to that. No, just him being just a dark force user. Like whenever we actually
Straight
see
up,
him, he's
because
not.
They're getting rid of the rebels.
No. Whenever we see
dirty
Snoke
people.
in this movie, he's not in any sort of like hood or anything. He's in a fucking golden robe.
Mm-hmm.
He's not. No, he's not.
Which is dope.
Yeah, he
He's
just
rich.
uses the dark side. He uses it for his benefit. And he's not a.
Material effect.
Yeah, like it. Yeah, it's for him to be the king, maybe.
The king, baby.
Supreme leader.
Yeah.
Spring leadership.
And the moment Palpatine felt maybe Palpatine was stronger than him, and the moment that he fell over,
Democratic people.
he was like, "All right, cool, I'm gonna be the fucking best," and kick all the asses
I really enjoyed the
until he gets cut in half.
I can see it now. Him stabbing the true evil, like that shit
Yeah.
was fucking.
Yeah,
yeah,
It's true.
Oh my God.
a true enemy.
Yeah, it was nice.
that was a
like,
good turn. Like
You're
seeing
blinded by your own wants.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
don't
He
even
played
see
himself.
the actual
You
truth.
played
You
yourself.
Don't ever play
DJ
yourself.
Khaled comes up behind him. Congratulations.
You played
You played yourself.
Goes back behind the chair and is never seen again.
And double the subversion. So I was like, okay, cool. Where are we going with the story now? Like, is like
Yeah.
Kylo's like in this
And
middle
with
ground.
her and
Kylo and Rey are working together.
Yeah.
But
I feel
then-
like there's
And
gonna
then
be
he's just like,
a
he sees
good
that throne, he's
time
just like,
between the two.
I want that power
I
to.
love the idea of good and evil in this movie. It's very subjective.
Not black and white.
They want you. You know, thing is that with especially Vegeta fans, you want to believe that like the bad
Fans.
Guy, I hate Vegeta fans. Vegeta fans didn't start till the bridge. I swear to God.
Okay, you can fuck yourself.
They got really douchey during a bridge.
They did. They did. They really became.
They're like, oh yeah, Vegeta's really douchey, so that gives us a card. Be like, hey,
But
we're douchey.
I've always
Take
been
it.
the Vegeta #1 over
Yeah.
Goku.
Same.
So it's just that feeling of like, but me personally, I like love Goku.
Seagull?
Yeah, same.
The
same.
Kylo
It's some kind of
Ren's
bird.
ideology is fucking
Douchey.
perfect.
When
Like,
you
I'm
are-
sorry, Resistance, but a perfectly united government is going to have its flaws. But his beliefs and wanting to bring it together and use the Force in order to control and everything else, it's like it's such a power move.
It's a dictator move
Use-
with force.
Yes, dude,
Literal force.
People's Democratic National
The
whatever.
dark side of duct tape.
Democratic National Republic of Korea. People's National.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, but of the space. So that's what I want going on. And Kylo is like I know there's a lot of like mocking, especially I myself have shared memes about his high waisted pants and
Yeah.
but I.
It's
really-
practical. Like martial artists do that. Like
Yeah.
you typically have
Bruce
like
Lee, dude.
bit. Yeah, fucking
Like,
shit. Yeah.
Come on, son, you're not gonna drop your trowel if you.
It's like an Eastern like thing, and that all of like lightsaber techniques and stuff
Except for
take.
him, he seems rather medieval.
Yeah,
That's
the
'cause
fact
he-
that
'cause he
the
has a
guard
fucking-
on his,
yeah, cross guard.
which is a practical element.
How does that
Sword,
work?
yes.
I want to know
Okay,
how
there
that
is-
works.
there's a
Okay,
video.
it's like
I've seen it.
You
yeah.
know-
The word-
you know where you
okay.
see where like when people are fighting with swords and they like meet the sword like on the blade.
Yes.
Well, no,
that doesn't
it-
happen.
it-
Yeah, I
know.
Yeah, right.
sensible,
So
but,
like what happens is that they'll like glance up against each other and it like keeps your hand out of.
No, I'm saying,
No,
how does
okay,
that work
so-
for a lightsaber
Yeah.
to be happening?
Because then when the blades meet, if he comes down.
No,
it-
that's
it's
not
a-
what I'm
well,
saying.
okay,
either.
okay.
How does it made that way? How is
Okay.
it working
Okay,
with
I got-
one
I-
going up and
I
two
got
going?
you. I got
You're
I got
refracting
you.
light through a crystal. You
Exactly.
can do that in
Okay, but no,
Exactly.
as many directions as you
no,
want.
it doesn't, because first off, if the lightsabers are coming out right there, that lightsaber is going to be pure lightsaber right there. It's not going to be a housing unit right there because there's nothing.
Could be
else.
There's a
multiple.
crystal in there.
Yeah,
Okay,
they would
yeah,
all
could be
be. They would all
multiple
three be the
crystals.
same
Okay,
length.
The thing is that
You can-
whenever-
no,
whenever
you can
start-
adjust
refract,
Whenever
yeah.
whenever you start the power, the light source goes through the crystal, right?
Yeah.
Okay, but if that crystal was splitting off here, the housing unit around the cross guard would be a lightsaber itself. It would be one pure lightsaber.
No, so because
not
you can just
coming
refract
out.
the angles on.
You would need 3 crystals if that was the case.
No,
Yes.
No, you can just use the chamber that's on the hilt parts and.
But that's the thing. There's no element that is protected from lightsabers. There's no mysterious element that will
It would just shoot through
It's
it.
going to be able to protrude from that housing unit. It's light. It's a light beam.
Yeah.
It's going
right,
to.
but it's the angle to which it's being refracted.
You can't refract it.
Okay,
You
so,
can,
so
though.
right
You
here,
can.
The pure energy of
Why
it.
does it end then?
Yeah.
because like
No, you can absolutely refract
Refract it,
lightsabers.
yeah.
Like, maybe maybe not in
You
canon
can ref-
anymore,
you can
but you can
refract
like
them,
there have
but
been lightsabers
the
that
thing
like
is that once it
control down
pass-
to the size of a dagger.
once it
Yeah.
passes
Then if you're
through-
taking the power and using it in multiple places, wouldn't the top one be shorter?
once you're
You could
powering-
have it in any like that part is bullshit. The fact
Yeah,
that
I
it
know.
ends like at that angle, but you could potentially have like a refracted beam. Like if you'd have to have a wider base, but then you could like.
Once you're powering the powering unit.
It's a thing that can't happen anyway.
The powering
Like,
unit and the lightsaber, once it comes through,
Yeah.
once it passes through the crystal, that crystal it's going refracted one direction. So
right.
unless
You
got
can. I'm
3
saying you
refractors
could.
set up,
No.
even if, but okay.
I could draw this for you better
Okay.
than I can explain it.
But that's what I'm
Like,
saying. Okay, so
Yeah.
here you have the refractor, right?
You can erase some of Fandom Nonsense if you'd
I don't
like
have
to.
any chalk.
The
Chalk.
light.
Chonk.
This is out.
I don't know. That's behind the tree.
Looking at Kylo's build, it looks like it would be 3 separate pieces.
No, what's 3 separate
It would need to be
fucking
3
crystals?
separate
No.
pieces. It would need to be 3 separate crystals. but
That
even
sounds
then,
wrong.
Or just
it's
at least
still
2.
not going to work. Because if it is 3 separate crystals, how are they all activating at the same exact time?
No, okay, you get your crystal here.
They wouldn't. So you need
Why
to
not?
activate each one single.
What
Because
activates
when
them?
you activate the source of light, passes through the crystal.
I don't think
giving
that's how it
its
works.
Yeah.
power. You activate when you turn it on right here.
Oh my
right
God.
here.
No.
The
Hey,
housing
hey.
unit's
Put
right
that away. His is better.
here. When you activate it here, you get the power crystal above it, right? And so the light, when you activate it, it shoots the energy to here, which activates the living crystal, and the living crystal
No.
extends.
Are lightsabers battery powered or?
They are
All
not.
you need is like mirrors
That
here
is
and
a
here.
question.
Solar powered.
Refract the light that comes there.
Okay,
And then you
well,
just have,
okay,
like-
but that's not
So
how
you
it
don't,
works.
you're not splitting
Lenses.
it. You
Okay,
have to
so
split it.
even if, but
3
okay,
different
so
ways.
this
Yeah.
is refracted.
It's
How's
not
it gonna go
splitting, it's
down?
just-
Oh my god.
Yeah, and this will refract that way.
Okay,
and
but
then
that's
that
still
is coming
it's
out
still the
there.
problem of the housing unit. The housing unit is going to erode. And in the first movie, he turns on both sides separately, doesn't he?
Why? Why would the?
Because there's no mysterious aluminum that can protect anything from a fucking lightsaber.
Then how do lightsabers work?
Right.
Because once they come,
It shoots straight up.
It's open air where the crystal is.
Mm-hmm.
The crystal.
It's still the same distance from the beam.
But it activated separately. They're not one refraction. He had to activate them at 2 different sides, which would require them to have 3 different crystals inside the fucking thing. But how did they activate them at the same time later on?
The light being pushed through the crystal can move in any direction that you.
And what fucking mirror control scheme do you have going on in your lightsaber?
I mean,
I just drew it.
No, but like it's got one button.
maybe.
Right,
well,
it only needs you only
right.
need one light to
All right.
push through the crystal. You refract the beam in such a way.
There's
that
no actual.
it's
Hey, wait, hold on. Hey,
There
Coco.
is an energy source.
Coco.
There's no mirrors.
There's no actual hole
Why?
that it goes out of either. It comes out of a straight base. Now
That's what I
say
said.
the inside of that is just open, and like it's just able to come out through those as well the same way. Like whenever the light is taken out, it goes through like all directions and shoots out the
All right, well then
shoots
let's
out the
just say
exit
that
points.
energy is pouring into the crystal.
Kylo Ren's lightsaber
Okay, so listen.
contains a cracked crystal,
Yes.
requiring it to have the lateral.
In order to expunge energy because it's housing too much unstable energy. Right?
Yes.
Okay. But even so,
That's why it's so
though,
crackly.
The problem I'm having is that once the energy source is activated, right? This is your energy source, flame. Okay, it passes through the crystal. Once it passes through the crystal, that is your beam. That is your arc beam.
Let's just say that it's the crystal being used as a reactor for the
So that would need
function of the lightsaber.
So-
Which,
but-
It's a
that
beam
would
of
make it-
plasma.
Yeah.
By the way, not
And so
light.
So it's plasma. Well, obviously, it cuts through metal, right?
I'm just saying this whole
Because
thing
they're everything.
about like
Refracting
about light and everything is
Right.
kind of missing.
Okay,
okay,
so-
all right,
but
but
that's
it's still a wave.
But
It's
if you're
still,
saying-
like
the
it's
thing
acting
is-
as like
Yeah.
Sit down.
I'm sorry, it's so hype. When you say that the light, is being, if the
well,
crystal
let's
was
just say
being-
energy because it's not
Okay,
it's
yeah,
not
if it's
technically light.
plasma, the liquid energy. If the crystal was the housing or was the power unit, there
It wouldn't be the power unit. It would be the reactor.
The reactor. Okay, so what's giving it its sustenance?
Whatever is powering the lightsaber. It's essentially.
But it's
like,
just like some
Each crystal's a
mysterious-
living force, though.
Yes.
Right.
Does the
Living-
plasma come from the crystal?
No, the plasma is initiated
It's-
and it gives the crystal its
image.
All
It's able
Oh,
all of this
to-
leading to the fact that there wasn't a lightsaber duel in this movie.
Good
There
fact.
really
There
was
one,
not.
There was one clash. Three
When?
clashes.
When?
Whenever you see Kylo and Luke's history.
Oh shit!
That's the only
Dang.
one.
Man,
Only big
so
thing.
wait, I can't remember correctly. Did Luke actually just decide
Luke
to
tried
go
to
in
kill
there
him.
during his
Yes.
sleep?
Because he
I hate that.
I
You're
do too.
wrong.
It was
No, he had a
okay.
glimmer of it passed like a shadow. Like
He
he's-
felt the heaviness of Kylo, and
He was
And Luke-
afraid of what Ben could be
That's-
because he saw in his own father where the dark side can take somebody,
And
and
that
he
was his
knows
turning
that
point.
Snoke already
it's,
has.
It's just a classic. Like that's exactly like.
That was his failure.
Why
to
not?
keep
Why not
him.
do the same thing that we're talking about that Anakin needed to do with Yoda? Talk to it.
He is.
That's.
yeah,
can't.
no, that was a simple mistake.
That was
That's
really.
the-
like,
oh
make the
no,
story
I
a
can't
whole
talk to
completely
him.
story.
I'm gonna kill him. I'm gonna kill him. I can't talk to him.
But no, what he sensed as hatred
That's a
And what he
Skywalker
saw
move.
was fear of a overwhelmed child, right?
Right.
And so
he thought that Snoke had already gotten his like.
yes, but
hands
instead
into it.
he was seeing what he was going to do by
Okay.
pushing this kid
Here's
forward.
here's the thing this movie drives home. The Force doesn't give a shit about
Right.
the Resistance, about the First
No,
Order,
it
about
was
the
everything to be this.
imbalance, right? The Jedi were at the peak of their power, and it allowed Palpatine to rise to power. Palpatine and Vader were the only Force users. They'd wiped out the Jedi, and that's what allowed Luke and Leia to come up and restore balance. Kylo Ren was at necessary balance, and it just turns out that just like in so many other cases, like with Anakin, it was his actual actions that spurred destiny into action. But
I like the idea of the fact that because of this spiderweb of Anakin Skywalker's life.
You said just bad decisions.
Well, all of his actions leading up to
His hatred of sand.
His hatred of sand and driving and slaving drove him to
And his mom.
become the greatest Sith.
His mom being
and his mom, yeah. But
a big, very big.
it led him to being the biggest Sith, and then crumbling, letting the greatest light rise, and then now there's actually pure balance between the Force. Like you have Rey and Kylo.
So they're just supposed to battle forever.
Pure, I mean, almost seemingly, but at the same time, no.
I would
Obviously,
say Rey is more. It's not
Watch-
necessarily
Star Piece
complete
doesn't sound very
right,
fun.
but she understands both
I like
sides
Star
very
Wars.
well.
I
But she knows
love
what's
that.
right.
There was a book that's no longer canonical, but it is Luke went to the dark side, trained under the dark side, and then turned around and went back to the light side and became the greatest Jedi or greatest Force user that ever existed. If that is the plot for Rey, I'm sold, dude. Like, absolutely.
I don't think she's gonna hit the dark side.
I
though.
think Rey is
She
gonna get
went
it.
straight
I think,
for it whenever she felt it.
Well,
Yeah,
yeah,
but she didn't-
but
but she
her
didn't
answer,
she didn't cross
her
over.
answer within less
She
than
went
5
to
minutes,
it,
she
saw
already
how it-
realized
how
that
shitty
it's a
was,
bad
and
idea.
Was spit out.
She realized that the dark side that she was going for at that point in time, though,
That's not
was-
what mattered.
When she went there, she ended up finding out it was Luke's dark side. That was the darkness.
No, the darkness,
Wow.
the decay was completely hers
yeah,
because
it was just a reflection of herself, quite literally.
Who's
Like,
she looking
just-
for?
Who she was,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
it.
But
She realized that her tie to the dark side was tied into her search for her parents because
the dark side gives you what you want.
Yeah.
okay, that's fair. My reasoning behind that was Luke jumping to. That's the quickest I've ever seen anybody go for the dark side. But the only reason that she had that, like his realization of that being a reflection of the dark side.
She
No,
was
he-
just willing
Luke-
to confront her dark side
I'm like,
faster than
Luke.
any other
Luke,
boy.
I mean, yeah.
Luke is a Skywalker. Like he is his father's son. Like
He
any,
also hates sand.
like any. You know,
true.
it's like alcoholism. Like there is a
Yeah, it's
like there's an inborn thing with the Skywalkers, at least with the men.
attention.
That temptation to the dark side. The first time you see it in Luke isn't in this movie. The first time you see Luke completely give himself over to the dark side was in Return of the Jedi.
They should stop raising Skywalkers on sand planets.
Whenever
Making some
When-
valid points though.
whenever Darth Vader says, "So you have a twin sister. If you won't turn, then perhaps she will." At that moment, until Palpatine starts laughing and Luke's like, "Oh shit, I've gone too far." Luke was about to kill his father in a fit of rage in that moment. Like they,
Swinging for the fences too.
yeah,
yeah.
like
hammering away.
that,
He did
and
not
that's
give a shit.
that's what's in my head every time I see like Luke in that moment with Kylo Ren. Is Luke always dealt with that temptation and that struggle? He just always, the difference between him and his father,
He was able
He was
to
always
stop
able-
it before the last second.
always able to overcome it. Just at this time, even though he was able to do that, as he said, it was an instant, like a shadow. There were still consequences for
Yeah.
it.
And that's Ben too. Ben's technically a Skywalker. He's
Mm-hmm.
the Skywalker blood, and that was his reaction whenever him and Rey fought in the throne room.
Mm-hmm.
He had that split second decision of I could stop here,
I mean, I
But
think.
then he doubled down.
go down, and went further. And
Yeah.
claim
Yeah,
the throne.
I think.
I mean, I think
Ray kind of
Snoke
acts like
kinda
the
mentioned
audience
that.
in that moment.
Yeah.
You know, because
Every time I see it, I'm just like, "You're."
Yeah.
She's like, "Please don't do this."
Yeah,
I'm just
like,
like,
say something.
because Kylo could
Stand up.
just have easily been like, "All right,
So what do you
I
think?
see something greater in Rey." Obviously, like that could have been like, I mean, it was necessary that it wasn't because it keeps the conflict alive.
Right.
But like Kylo is like placed in
She
this
could have been like, dude, no, come on, son. And he'd be
right,
like,
and
"Oh, you guess
he could have just like as easily have sided with Rey and understood that the nature of their conflict was arbitrary.
Yes.
because it is. It's all
Right.
built on this like.
In that case, Luke wouldn't have died. Probably.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
like it made sense that it turned the way it did. Like we've got more of like the balanced plot line to explore in the 9th episode, and
Yeah, we lost 2 Force users on both sides, dark and light.
yeah.
By the
And
end
so
of it,
yeah,
bring balance to the
now for Rey and Kylo to
it's
resolve,
1-1 and a broom grabber.
they either have to conflict with each
Kid at the
other
end.
and find that like one of them dies and one of them becomes a more balanced essence of the Force, or
If-
that they both become balanced.
if this is going to be the end of the saga, if 9's going to be the end of the Skywalker saga, then I think we're going to find some level of balance in this last movie, because otherwise,
It's gonna feel
The
good.
balance isn't between the light side and the dark. You never. I mean, it's all in oneself. But like that little kid at the end of the movie, I feel like it's light side's right. You know what I mean? Like the not controlling, not demolishing, not. You know.
Yeah, you just use. I mean, you should just use the Force. You know, you don't. There's no need to make it for light or dark. You just use it.
Yeah.
You exist.
Because if you go too far in the light side as the Jedi did,
It makes you make mistakes.
you become too high and mighty, and you lose your attachment to attachments, to emotion, and to humanity, and things that actually
You need both.
You need both. It's the balance in the middle.
That's why I think the ideology behind it, like being the whole dark side, like being the Sith and being the Jedi, was
right. Which is why we needed Snoke to die, and we needed the Jedi Order to end. Because in order to assume balance, I don't think the Jedi are done.
No,
I don't think
but it's the Jedi Order that Rey will build from.
It's a classic religious.
So we'll see a new Sith Order?
It's the knowing of the light and the dark and how you need them both to be truly balanced.
Will we finally get to see the Knights of Ren?
I think we'll definitely get to see the Knights of Ren in episode 9.
That was them in episode 8, the red suited dudes.
No, that was the Praetorian Guards.
Yeah.
But did it feel like the rest of the Ren squad? Because I mean, he's the only one, right?
He wouldn't. No. The Knights of Ren answered to Kylo Ren. They wouldn't have attacked him after he killed Snoke. Those are just like the Emperor's Red Guards.
I didn't think they listened to Kylo. I thought they listened to somebody above Kylo.
No, he is the master of the Knights of Ren.
Okay, see, that's why I thought that Snoke was
the Knights of Ren.
We haven't seen the Knights of Ren?
No, except from the flashback in episode 7.
Yeah.
Which that's another thing. Getting on to Best Girl. I was a huge fan of.
I'm sorry.
Huge fan of what?
We're gonna take a pause for just a second. Can you
Okay,
They each have their own masks, by the way.
Smokes.
He was telling me no thing.
I'll try to get him to stay.
Well.
Well. Well, I'm leaving too. No, I just need that.
Well, cheers. Trying to look up the Knights of Ren, see what we got, because they have. Oh, here we go. Yup.
Cool.
Yeah, definitely gonna see the Knights of Ren.
In what, 9?
8.
This was 8.
Oh no.
9?
Well, why does this say 8? We don't get to
Rey versus Kylo and
How
the
old
Knights
is
of
that?
Ren.
Falco. Don't close
He's-
it.
Yeah. Never close a door.
I opened the door.
I know, because you closed it.
Okay.
Quit it.
Ah.
Don't, if you mock him, he keeps going.
Suck it.
Maybe that's who the.
See you later.
Those definitely were not the Knights of Ren. But anyway, as
No, but these are.
What? Yeah, those are. As a huge proponent of the Rey Skywalker theory, I'm very, very happy with the choice that they made.
Oh, yeah.
Nixed it right in the butt.
Like,
Parents for nobody.
yeah.
I like that. That's nice. It's the same effect as Anakin.
Shit, it's a whole new story.
There
It-
was
It's
no
not
Skywalker.
following the lineage like the last 6 movies have.
There was no Skywalker before Anakin. And it's nice because his mom was a nobody. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like,
Like, oh, he was born of the Force. Like, yeah, but before Empire and you had all that stuff about like the Skywalker bloodline and everything, Luke was just a farm boy, like who answered the call to adventure.
Right.
Like and it's good to get back to that.
Yeah.
In itself, man.
Like, yeah, I'll do this. Yeah, it's
And
good
I
idea.
I hate my life. I'm gonna go out and find something worth adventuring for. So.
Done sipping blue milk.
and
No, it wasn't.
the
Green milk. Sorry.
the inversion
Turquoise-ish.
with Rey, like Luke wanted to get off of Tatooine. Like Luke was about to join the Imperial Academy. Luke just wanted to get away.
Right.
Rey didn't. Like that was like Rey was a huge part of the thing was her refusal of the call.
Yeah.
Was
She knew the stormtroopers were shitty, and she hated living where she lived. She just knew that there was something greater.
But she's like, my family. I have to wait for my family. And one thing I've noticed, I feel like the calls of Rey being overpowered are completely out of bounds. She's good with a lightsaber because she's been fighting with melee weapons her entire life.
Yeah.
As
A
far
sword
as,
is not that like.
yeah, it's not that different from a staff. Like, and yeah, like, oh, it's weightless. Like, when has that ever applied to a lightsaber ever anyway?
That's just gonna make it easier, honestly.
Yeah. And what display of force powers does she use? She lifts some rocks, big fucking deal, and
The water thing, not the Kylo Ren scene, but her coming out of the ocean.
Huh?
Whenever she had the vision of her of the
Yeah.
hole, the well, she goes forward and then she comes up and then she's laying on the ground and she's soaking wet.
yeah,
Like
but
as if she had dove into the ocean and then come back up.
yeah,
I thought that was like something spitting her out.
I think I mean, if it was
Vision,
her going
maybe.
into the well, she would have been soaking wet
yeah.
because there's water. There's part of the sea water's down there.
Right. So I mean, wait. I mean,
Unless she went straight into the dark side itself like that, but didn't get to explore it. Like had felt the pool, went to it.
I think she just
and it left.
yeah, she felt her calling towards it, and then, you know.
But I mean that
Made her
even in
confrontation.
itself. I mean, what is that physically? That literally moved her from point A to point B. back to point A.
Did it move her there?
She came. She was on the rock meditating.
I don't know if she ever actually left.
No, she
No,
went there.
But the next scene where he's telling her that you're the first person, I've only seen raw energy like this and all that.
Yeah.
She is laying on her hands and knees off of the rock she was on, soaking wet, and she's like.
To me, I thought that was like more of the projection of like the moisture that we saw when like Kylo
waves
was.
crashing? Oh no.
Yeah, like it was more of like a. I don't know. Either she like pulled the water from like her like projected like
I mean,
wherever.
so they were like super high up on that cliff, right? And that's why
Yeah.
I didn't know if that was actually like her like fucking teleporting or whatever the fuck it may be, force jumping or force sprinting. Or
I think it was just like one of those weird force
Let's say,
things. Like in that
I get what
split
you're saying.
second, she like
Like,
passed
passed
through that
through,
vision.
yeah.
Yeah.
It's
right.
Kylo getting dripped on
Yeah.
in a place that shouldn't be.
Right. Yeah.
Right. Okay.
Yeah.
It was a whole nother. But that's technically astral projecting, if not.
It's
I
a
don't-
less directed form of just like displacement. Of,
Yeah.
Yeah. It was just tied to like.
I think
her
it's kind of
internal
like
struggle.
in her vision that she had from the lightsaber episode 7, how she like was in the hall of Bespin, like she was actually at those places and like seeing it happen.
It was Snoke that connected their minds.
Yes.
Yes.
It was him that did all of that.
Okay, so but what about her going to the water?
That was, there.
I mean that.
The
that's
actual
different.
the place that they were at itself had just a natural it had a natural light side up top, and down at the bottom was like it was an equal environment. There is a dark side. There is a hole that literally has black shit coming out of it.
As Luke
That's
says,
what-
powerful
that's what-
light, powerful darkness.
Yeah, you
That's
need
the home of
the
the Jedi.
building. Yeah, exactly. It had
But
both.
That's what I'm saying.
'Cause they
though,
needed both.
Is that what is the displacement there?
What do you mean?
Like what pulled the
What
water
pulled her?
from?
If it wasn't her own force power that was able to get her.
The place
phrase
itself
that-
is so
Yeah.
force
Yeah.
active.
Right. Yeah.
Okay, but if the place is force active, the place is force sensitive. The place
Yeah.
is force active.
Yeah.
So I just wonder what actually made her.
No. Like places can be force active. People
Places
are force.
can-
force
okay,
sensitive.
No, everything is force sensitive. Everything has.
Mm.
You're not those things. The plants aren't actively using the force for photosynthesis.
Yeah, but the
I
fact
think
that
that-
that's happening is like ties into the
Natural.
fabric.
The
of
natural
force,
natural
like,
world
natural-
itself
yeah.
is able to
Is that not-
able to use the force.
But being able to.
They
feel
say
that-
about planets that they're
Depending.
strong. They're strong in the force.
Yeah.
Okay, but
Yeah.
is it active or is it? I mean, what would you call it? A dormant in the force?
I mean, I would say like a planet like that or
I
Dago or
don't-
something would be
It
active.
did not feel like if
there's life on the planet.
If there was a given that was actively the planet's doing to make her feel and experience that, then I must have missed it.
Well,
Personally,
okay,
but
it's-
it just
but-
felt like in that scenario that she
It
had
offered
done
you.
something.
Luke says it offered you something you wanted and you didn't resist. It wasn't her seeking it. It was the force from the planet offering it to
I
him.
thought it was just the dark side itself, not the dark side of the planet.
Well, I
just
mean,
the dark side
but
itself.
it's the
but
dark
it's, like,
side as it
reflected
manifested.
through. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, but I mean,
It's a
just
microcosm
because you give
of-
a physical appearance doesn't make it necessarily the cause, the initiative. It's not the one that's choosing to pull.
Well,
it.
it's
Yeah,
it's
but-
both. It's binary. It's like in all these situations, like
It just
when you
felt
come
like
to the
her-
dark or the light side of the force, it's like both internal and external. It's like circumstance meeting with what was already inside of you.
It
like,
felt like her
Temptation
force,
versus.
Yeah.
It felt like her force was the one that caused her to be in that situation.
Right, but it was also her environment.
No,
Yeah.
not the dark side pool. I'm just saying her being wet in general. I mean, if that was the case, that I know I'm trying. So
She tapped in
hard.
the dark side and the emotions kicked in, and
Oh,
oh boy, oh boy,
Oh.
woo!
Phrase that poorly. But no, it just what if it was the dark side that like pulled her into the well and then put her in the seawater and then spit her back onto land.
Right.
You know, that is something fucking ridiculous, right? You feel like they would
She-
explored that more.
She came back on her own. She went in and realized
Well,
that this was shit and shot back out.
Was it her or was it
It
the planet
was-
that did it? All of it. Did she?
Maybe a little
It's
bit of
it's
both.
both and it's neither. It's like
Yeah.
it's just
She-
That's
it's
what I
just-
want to know. That's what I'm,
She went in
the
there
discussion.
trying to figure out the deepest thing that she wanted to know
Okay,
to
you're
help her.
talking about the
About the
actual
scene.
mirror scene.
Yeah.
You're
I'm
talking about
yes, the
Yeah.
primary scene. The discussion though is that what is her the ultimate power that was used, rather. You know, you said that
it's not necessarily power being used. She's like she's acquainting herself with the force. She's like having this internal conflict, and it's sort of manifesting in her having this like
And so that's why I
whiplashing,
wanna know-
like watery effect in which she's like going into the.
It's almost like a baptism.
she's
and
coming up for air.
and there's
That's what-
Well,
It
She
is
went
kind
and
of a
touched.
baptism
She
type
went and
deal.
touched sand and
She's-
became baptized when she crossed back
she's-
over.
she's
Willingly.
meditating on she's meditating on the
Some
force.
fuck shit right there.
She's made aware of the dark side,
Yeah.
and for whatever reason, it seems to be just one of those interesting fuck with your head moments.
Yeah.
But there's a physical, like, she physically goes through the
The well.
through the well for a brief second and comes back covered in it because she is meditating on the force and
Right.
she goes there. But I think it's just the dark side pulling her there, and there's a physical manifestation of it in that split second. Like,
She knew what temptation she could find there.
Yeah.
yeah.
So
It's
And
more
she
for
was
visual
hoping to
color
find-
I'd say
than
it's
it
movie
is.
nonsense rather than actually
Yeah.
being
It has its purpose in the
obvious,
mythos, but
not it being. Something
I don't think
that
it's
is
just
focused on.
like it's just laid out in front of you. I think there's a lot to unpack in that.
yeah.
Another fun. We were talking about rocks and being really high up, and made me think of this really funny moment. Another thing of just personally watching the movie, whenever Rey was sitting there messing with the lightsaber, and she cuts that rock. I don't know. I know somebody said it, but Luke's just sitting there looking at her, pissed off, and then turns and storms away. I think it was you that was
Right.
just
It was
like,
Zach.
that was my favorite rock. And just he looked so pissed off. Another really good moment is Luke and R2 in the Falcon
Yeah.
together. And R2 still being that witty old robot piece of shit.
Right.
Can't believe R2 still has that old memory chip of Leia just.
Right.
We need you, Obi-Wan. We need you, Obi-Wan.
Dick move.
Yeah.
Yeah. Honestly.
Guilt trip.
It's like, you remember? You remember? And Luke was like,
It's like
right.
you stay here, but you remember episode 4? Is that R2? I remember.
I remember.
Man,
Damn
Chewie,
it.
Chewie kicking down the door.
Talks about his language. Like,
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
fuck.
Sacred Island. Watch your language.
R2 has always been a potty mouth.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Always.
No, he's a hard ass man.
You know who did it to him, right?
Hmm?
You know who did it to him, right? Made him all crazy like that.
What was the flying thing in episode 1?
The flying thing?
Oh wait, no, wait. R2 can't. Never mind.
I mean,
He flew-
all the
he
different
had rockets in
different times
episode
he's
2.
been zapped and shocked and hit
that's
and
right.
caught on fire.
For
and
fucking Skywalkers.
Fucking Skywalker.
he's a robot. He can't fuck Skywalkers.
But he
Wow.
can do
I mean,
a lot
man,
of dumb shit.
I don't think
for
he
him.
has that in his like. I don't think he has that in
No.
his actual like function.
That's not one of his utilities.
No.
As a utility droid.
The hardware or software.
I'm serving drinks.
Me hack into this ship. Me give you sucky sucky.
Oh my god.
You want a nice drink? Taste.
OR2. No. All right. No.
R2 has the taser. BB-8 has the fucking actual torch.
No.
Doing the torture moments.
How'd everybody feel about the ending of what's her name? The Chrome lady.
Chrome Dome.
Chrome Gnome.
Phasma.
Phasma.
I don't think
Plasma?
that's we'll see of her.
I hope it is.
I don't.
No.
She's like the new
I
Boba
think-
Fett.
Exactly. She served her purpose.
She needs one more
No,
episode.
because Boba Fett didn't get another episode. That's why she's coming back. She's totally coming back.
Boba Fett was in 5 and 6.
Yep.
She was in 7 and 8.
Technically,
That's not Boba
technically,
Fett.
Boba Fett was
Yes,
in
she
2.
is. She is absolutely.
She's a
Boba Fett was in
Fett
2 and 3.
character, but she's also a stormtrooper.
He's in 2. I don't think
Oh
he's
yeah,
in
no,
3.
not 3. Yeah,
Her
so 2,
suit
5, and 6.
reflected lasers, phasers, whatever they're called. But
Lasers.
She.
This is just Star Trek.
Yeah.
That's what I was like. Fuck. She reflected that. Plus, the only thing you saw burn up was her cape. She's gonna come back with a fucking scar. And
Burn.
She's gonna have like a burn scar down her face, and she's
She-
not gonna wear her helmet, and everybody's gonna be like, "Fuck yeah!"
Like,
love
oh, Brienne
it."
of Tarth.
Yeah,
She's
exactly.
she's gonna be in it for
Someone-
5.
It's
for
like
5
it's like
minutes.
burnt plastic chrome. Phasma. Her outfit.
I didn't
Eh,
know.
I could take or leave her. You know, I don't think she's necessary.
She actually, I
She
read
is
up on her
marketing
backstory and
hype.
stuff.
Yeah.
No, she actually has a backstory past the movies, and it's really
Finn her.
It's really cool.
That's every character that's ever been in Star Wars.
Yep.
Snoke.
There will be one.
There will be. I feel like he's gonna be in the Han Solos.
Why
Snoke?
not? No, I doubt it. A young Han Solo. Why would they need one?
Well, okay.
Why would
just
they need a
to-
Snoke? He has so many
Just
cool
to
stories to
establish
tell.
the turning of Ben.
The Sith. Well, there was.
Like,
if
whenever
you've
he comes
ever
along.
looked into the coder,
Because Ben's turning has nothing to do with Han Solo. It has
No,
to do
no,
with Leia and Anakin.
Luke
Han
trying to kill
Solo
him.
doesn't factor into Snoke turning. So Snoke
Right, well, I
turning
mean-
up in Han Solo's movie is irrelevant
Well,
because that's not the lineage of
Then
Kylo
his-
Ren
then
that he's
his
interested
absence
in.
There is-
would then be
there's huge
the
of them,
issue there.
and
'cause
they
it's
they
his
talk
dad,
about
you know, like,
Snoke.
What?
Princess Leia and Han Solo have talked about Snoke, and
Yeah.
that's why they sent.
Yeah, they're aware of him because of the fact that he has been under his control or whatever.
Right, but that's essentially the tie-in that I would assume.
But I don't. But
because-
that wouldn't apply to Han Solo because Han
His
Solo
son?
isn't. He's not his son in this movie though. This isn't. This is like old young. This is young Han
This is
Solo.
like before meeting Luke.
Oh, okay. All right.
Yeah.
I didn't know which
Yeah.
timeline we were just like going forward. I thought maybe like at the end of the trilogy they would sort of. tie
Snoke
it up.
definitely looks older than Palpatine.
We're not going to get anything besides books out of the 30-year gap. Probably ever, but we're definitely not going to get anything until Episode 9's done because we're not going to give a lot of any kind of important detail or anything about these characters. Isn't going to come out in some kind of side adaptation. The saga movies are still like the most important thing.
Right. Yeah.
Just like there were things in Rebels, I think season 3 or season 4 that had to get pushed back because like certain ships and stuff they couldn't use the U-wings because they had to wait for them to show up in Rogue One.
Right.
You know, so the movies are still like the most important thing. So any kind of information about Snoke or any kind of backstory stuff, we'll get that at some point, but it's going to be after 2019 and all these movies are out.
Damn. 2 years.
Who's everybody's favorite character in this movie?
Man, that's a hard call.
I
Yeah,
like the two mains, honestly.
Ray and Finn.
Interesting story.
I would say Rey
Ray
and
and
Kylo.
Kylo.
Oh,
I love how they made Poe Dameron a jackass in this fucking movie.
I
Yeah.
love Poe in this movie.
yeah,
That was good.
I was back. Yeah,
He was so
I liked him more than I liked Finn in this movie
like
until the
wanting
end
for
part
this
of the
his
movie.
plan to like that he secretly backhanded to. He just wanted to work out so much,
Well,
and he was so hopeful
he's-
about it, but
I'm
he didn't
s-
realize that something else was going on.
I'm
behind
so
it, too.
glad that a hothead in Star Wars actually got their comeuppance, and things didn't go
Glad
like
they didn't kill him off in the fucking.
but they didn't like every like harebrained scheme that a Han Solo type character does always works out, and Poe's didn't. Like
Yeah.
Poe's plan backfired, and
Yeah, getting
actually
shot by Leia.
Was there an end of
Funny
scene
as
credit?
Hell.
No, never.
None of the
There wasn't?
plans
No.
that they had, no plans that happened on that on that rebel ship ended up going through correctly.
Yeah.
Finn got fucked up. Poe got fucked up. Like all of them.
Rose got
and,
fucked up.
and they
Man.
fucked up Haldo's plan
Yeah.
by their fucked
Yeah.
up plan.
Two,
Yep.
one small thing to hit. Admiral Akbar's dead. That sucks. Two, the
Why do you care about that?
he's been around.
Right.
He's been around.
There was
for
a
so
meme
long.
about him.
No,
Fucking
he's been around for
whoop-de-doo,
so
like,
long, and he was
He
he
was
was
such a
in one
small
movie.
part. Yeah, he was such.
he's in more than one movie.
He was just a nostalgia figure.
Yeah.
He had to go.
No, I'm almost
Okay,
sure.
Force Awakens.
Right.
But shit, now that I put too much of a point on him, and I didn't mean to.
Because Admiral Akbar is.
Oh no,
He's a throwaway character.
the
I'm glad he's
going
dead.
into hyperspace and shooting
They
through
already gave him
the
his
First Order
Moment
ships.
of glory
Yeah.
in Rogue One.
The
What-
silence.
The silence,
So-
it just, ooh, just like that quiet and the blackness, and then you just see that through all the
Which
different
is
ships.
what you would hear in space anyway.
Right.
Wait, yeah, but nonetheless, just the feeling of it. Everything went from so hyped to just quiet. Pin drop.
Yeah, it's great. It was super great.
If somebody would have coughed at that moment, I would have been upset. Like,
Everybody in my theater went. I was like, "Yep, you're absolutely right."
People cheered. Definitely.
that's what I'm
Yeah.
thinking. Yeah. Whoa.
First two times, it was like, oh my god, what a fucking great moment. Third time, went in the daytime. Goddamn children.
Yeah, man.
Oh.
Yeah.
Y'all were like, "Hey, man, you gonna come out?" And I was like, "Nope, got a Sam. Not doing that shit. I'm bringing a 3-year-old to a Star Wars movie." And be like, "Oh, that's cool. All right, time to scream." Yeah.
Yeah. this fucking kid during that scene was like fucking kicking his feet and just like stomping his feet as loud as he can. And me and my brother-in-law were just looking over like, "You guys gonna do anything about this?" Like, what's going on? Like at that like just the worst fucking moment. Like I'm just like, you don't shut the fuck up.
That's like after Luke did his astral projection and everything, he was about to die, sitting there looking up at the sunset and everything. This giant moment's happening, and he's about to like disappear out of his clothes. Nolan's alarm goes off.
Yeah. Oh my god.
Right
I'm
now,
so
like, I'm sitting
sorry.
there so into it, and Nolan's like right directly
so
to my
sorry.
left.
I turned
And-
my phone off.
Yeah. It just went off, and I just like I literally
It wasn't
I was
like
looking.
It wasn't like a
hold on.
fucking tone. It was like
It's
some
actual-
whistling
Yeah.
nonsense.
I'm looking at it. I hear that. I look down. I look back up. Luke's clothes. Luke is not in his clothes anymore.
Fuck.
Yeah. I was. He took me out of that moment so hard.
I'm so sorry.
What would you have alarms at for, man?
Oh man, it's just
Whatever.
He planned it. No, he timed it
Yeah,
perfectly.
I timed
Like,
it. I waited until the movie started. I was like, yeah, it's gonna be this many minutes in.
Same
No.
alarm for 11.
Fucking god damn it. I'm sorry.
yeah, it just like that happens. I look up at you, just like, gotcha. Thank you, piece of shit. Yeah.
Favorite character though.
Benicio del Toro.
The more I watch it, the more I enjoy his character.
He does stick out. He sticks out so much. He's probably the best like character actor in this whole movie.
Yeah.
But-
there's a new movie he's coming out with.
The lady
for
in the
real?
mermaid.
Benicio del Toro is still making movies. Crazy.
Avengers 3, right?
No,
No.
it's
There's
that
this-
mermaid one.
He plays the
It's like
Collector?
Beauty and the Beast, but it's Guillermo. Well, it's the not Teen Titans. The Titanfall. No, Titan AE. No, God damn it, what's it called?
Attack on Titan.
No,
Attack on Titan AE Fall.
Clash of the Titans.
Attack on Titanfall AE. No,
Treasure Island.
no.
Treasure Planet.
Hold on. It's the one with the giant robots. It's got
Pacific
Finn
Rim.
in it. There we go. Yeah, that's Guillermo del Toro.
Yeah, he's also in Avengers 3.
No,
Yeah.
there was this.
He's also in
drug
Guardians
lord
of the Galaxy.
war
He's the
movie that he was
Collector.
gonna
Yeah,
be
but he's
in.
ending in
I'm thinking
Avengers.
about.
Is he gonna die?
Probably. I mean, he has an Infinity Stone.
We're so
Alright.
off. We're so off topic.
Yeah, what happened? here?
Guillermo del Toro.
Favorite character?
Guillermo.
Guillermo.
Guido.
No, Guillermo.
Guido del Toro.
Guillermo.
All right, come on. Favorite character?
Did I have to do this? Is this right?
Is he your favorite character?
Favorite character?
No.
No favorite character?
No, I gave you one.
What?
It was a two-parter. Ray. Kylo.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
God,
Of the two.
Of the two? Oh, shit, Kylo.
really, Ray? No, dude. She was,
Ray's awesome. I love
Ray was
Ray.
awesome.
But
I really like
Kylo really evolved in this one.
Kylo's
Him
character
destroying
development was
his Knights of the Red Mask.
fantastic, but Ray's like the push they gave her for this episode was fantastic, and like her it was such like it was will they, won't they, and which one's going to which side.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
Because I wanted, like,
Yeah.
I'm like, no, come back over
Will
here.
they, won't they
So-
turn to the dark side?
Yes, dude. It felt so good. Like, especially whenever she found out about Luke, I thought, oh, it's over, dude. Like, she's about to fucking join Kylo. Obviously, it's not how it's going to play out. And I knew that in the back side.
Yeah.
But I was just like, ooh, that'd be so good. And because, like, I don't know, all the trailer lead-ups said, like, this isn't going to go how you expected. Or, you know, and they even used that
Well, it
quote in the
didn't.
movie. But it did not. And
Yeah.
so I thought, and at the end of the movie, I thought, Kylo's coming back to the light side. But like you said, Rey being the audience, it's just kind of like she really can't do anything at this point. She's done all she can do, and
Yeah.
Kylo's gonna do what
Yeah.
Kylo wants to do.
She gave it one more good shot.
Can't wait for the Knights of Ren battle.
Yeah.
If they skip out on that, that's gonna be.
Will it just be her versus the Knights of Ren?
I'd like to see that.
Oh,
that'd
Finn,
be
her,
Why Finn?
because he's
Finn's
got
learned how to use
the.
that goddamn baton. If Finn doesn't learn how to do this, shit
I want
better,
to see
I'd be so
see
mad.
Finn and
Kick some
Poe
ass.
leading things on the like war and resistance side of it.
Yeah.
But I don't want to see like Finn isn't a Force user any more than anybody else is. Just because he can barely handle a lightsaber doesn't mean that he is adept in the Force. I don't want to see them go down that
I mean,
road.
can you use a lightsaber and not be adept in the Force?
Yes.
Then yeah,
Like,
let's
you
kick
press
it.
the button.
Come on.
Press the button, you're good to go.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's how Han like. These things smell worse on the inside.
I thought they smelled better on the
Oh yeah, that's right.
yeah, it's
What
I
about
thought
on
they
the
smelled
outside?
better on the outside. Yeah.
Smelled bad.
Worse. Bad.
I
All right.
We'll get there.
I thought they smelled better on the outside.
They
No,
smell better, worse than
Oh,
the
yeah,
inside,
no, they
outside.
said-
Wow, these things smell terrible.
As he's cutting it
What a
open.
disgusting beast this is.
Gross.
Oh, those are internal organs. Here you go, Luke.
No, one thing this movie really drove it home more, obviously, than the first one did, was the idea that we're not just getting Rey's journey in the light side, we're also getting Kylo Ren's journey as a villain in
Yeah.
parallel to that, and him becoming the big bad in this movie as she becomes the sole light side hero was
Yeah.
really good. Really looking forward to their conflict in the next one. Rick Ball, favorite character?
I'm gonna go with Rey. Rey, just because of her ability to just straight to the dark side, come back, and just knowing the truth and being able to move forward from it and evolving so well in that good 30 minutes to an hour.
Mm-hmm.
Just like a grown adult almost.
That scene
So,
where
like-
she confronts herself
From what I've
Yeah.
heard.
in the cave.
And she's
is
like,
one of my
it's like
favorites.
this is just a waste of time. Like
Yeah.
Yeah.
this was pointless in
Yeah.
the mirror.
There are
You
bigger
ever
things to
seen-
take care of.
Oh, man, it was something else. It really was. I really
Yeah.
enjoyed it.
Yeah.
She thought she was going there to look for her
Parents.
parents,
Well,
and
very
yeah,
Right. But she came to the realization that if she was to find her like parental bond in the dark side, that she would just be viewing herself.
Yeah.
Like it's just a reflection upon a reflection of what she desired. She gets it.
She went through a lot in
Yeah.
this episode.
Yeah.
I said season.
season. In this season of
Yeah.
Star Wars.
Yeah, this season of Star Wars, Episode 8.
That's an interesting conversation. What would Star Wars be like if it was like cut up like red versus blue?
In 20-minute clips. Ooh.
Like just imagine that like the first segment of any Star Wars movie, this giant space battle in just 10 minutes of just a lot of times just nothing but just flying around, no dialogue or anything.
Characters get.
Yeah, that's good.
Hey, Aaron?
Well, I would say Kylo. I would still definitely say Kylo, but I gotta give shout outs. I cannot remember her name. God, it was
Rose?
the chick.
Rose.
No, not Rose. It was not Rose. It
Oh,
was,
hold on.
yeah, Holdo. Yeah.
Oh,
her.
Jurassic Park.
Yeah, yeah, you're not wrong. I definitely.
I think Blue Velvet, and I think
I got
Crazy
it.
at Heart. and-
Blue Velvet, definitely.
Jurassic Park.
No, I gotta give her
Yeah.
like a definite shout out for being like this is just her. This is the only. She wasn't in 7, right? I enjoyed her character so much, and this like the one movie development that she got to her very end, and I feel like she got a hype enough ending for.
She's playing a character she invented and has played throughout like her entire career. I feel.
She's a hard ass.
No, like just like a bold, like kind person.
Yeah.
You know,
Strong.
she's got like a very strange
Yeah.
sensibility about her. She
Just
speaks
she
in a
has very
specific
kind
way.
eyes.
But
She
always been
looks
that
like
kind
she
of
could
person.
still stab you in the heart
Right.
and look you in the eyes with
Yeah.
those same beautiful
Right.
eyes.
Fly a
Fucking
giant
wild at heart,
spaceship
man.
to your giant spaceship.
Yeah. But yeah, no, her development over
When
from
she
the beginning,
launched that
like from the
ship.
moment Leia got hit and she took command, all the way to the end, and like the development between, like, it was her development to Poe that helped him.
Yeah.
It was
Right.
that was what built his character, and I felt like that she did a very good job. I really enjoyed her.
It's like what would have happened to Leia in the context of Han Solo if she hadn't been a Skywalker. Like,
Zach, what's your favorite character?
It's a really tough call between Rey. I really, really love Rey. And Luke. Overall, I love Rey's development, but just looking at this movie in particular, I'm probably gonna have to go with Luke because they could have given him the Superman approach or treatment and just made him just this perfect master who did everything right, but Kylo Ren still went to the dark side and he just gave up hope. Or just made him just a carbon copy of Yoda or Obi-Wan or something. But they actually, like, Rian Johnson was brave enough to actually, like, go to Luke's dark side and, like, do something brave and controversial with the character, which made the character all the more stronger at the end. Like, you still could have gotten that moment with Luke, which, as I said before, is the absolute god tier of anything anyone's ever done in the Force. It's one thing to re-manifest yourself as a ghost, but to literally meditate and project a physical form across the galaxy is on a whole other level. And they could have still had that, but the fact that you saw Luke at his absolute most broken and lowest point at the beginning of the movie to get to that point where he is the most powerful Force user ever and is like the embodiment of the Force in that moment, I've got to say Luke.
That's a solid point. Luke was pretty fucking great in this movie.
Yeah, no, I definitely enjoyed his character all throughout.
in which is another center of the fucking weird ass fanboy hate on this movie,
Yeah, right.
which I refuse to sympathize with. If you didn't like this movie, I fundamentally disagree with your life choices.
There were things about it I didn't enjoy, but overall as a whole, it was a good movie.
I think that any Star Wars movie has that. Like, at their core, they're not good movies.
Yeah, it's not like it's a different breed.
Yeah, but I think that this was. I'm hard pressed to find an argument for any of the other movies since the original trilogy being better than this one as far as cinematography, thematics, narration, everything. Like, yes, there are flaws in this movie. There are flaws in Empire and A New Hope and any of them. They all have glaring flaws. We just have nostalgia glasses about them. But I think that this one will go down as being one of the better ones of the franchise.
Yeah.
Of all 9 or 10 or however many there are. Like, it was
Kind of hope they continue on because they hinted a lot of the little kid, the Force user you guys mentioned earlier, him grabbing the broom. Oh, so
Yeah.
we're
we
either
could
gonna
see a new generation.
Well, I think we'll find out in episode 9 if we're going to, because if Kylo dies and the Skywalker bloodline dies with him, then that's the end of the saga films. Now, there will always be Star Wars movies.
Yeah.
But I don't know if there'll ever be an episode 10, 11, 12. There'll be some other kind of side story because it's a big galaxy. But 1 through 9 are about the Skywalker family. It's an interesting inversion on that trope. I think that the Skywalker in this trilogy is the villain and not the hero. But
Which is why I guess the belief was that Rey was.
yeah, that was one of the biggest I mean, and I still say, and it's obviously true, if Rey wasn't going to be a Skywalker, then who she was doesn't matter.
Right.
Like, making her,
She's just a character. She's the character.
yeah, making her a Force creation or a descendant of a Kenobi or something would just be horrible writing and destroy character development, but it would also just be pure fan service. Like, it makes sense to make her a Skywalker because that's what the story's about.
Ruby being a maiden.
Yeah, yeah, exactly.
You know,
It doesn't make sense. It would just be pure fan service. So I'm glad they were just like, she's just a nobody.
right.
Anybody could be Rey. That's
Yeah.
and it drives
Ray's
that
our
home. With,
Batman.
yeah, it drives that home with the kid at the end of the movie that, you know, the Force is there for anybody. It's not doesn't belong to the Jedi or to the Sith.
I mean, that kid was
Yeah.
pretty fucking talented.
Yeah,
He moved a broom.
He moved.
Yeah.
He moved a broom to himself.
Yeah, he pulled it to him.
Yes.
Without looking at it.
What age?
Probably like 6.
And a lot of the time,
I mean,
He might not have been cognizant that he had
Kids are
Yeah.
probably
Yeah.
these kids probably know like a lot about the Force. Has been like such a highly talked that I mean, yeah, everybody
Stories
knows.
that-
I,
passed
I think
around.
it's probably more likely that he's just force sensitive.
Yeah.
Because they've been passed around in slave trade, so.
I mean, even
So they sit there and tell stories to each other.
everybody knows about the Force in this. I mean, it's just like how no one said anything to Rey in Episode 7 about the Jedi mind trick, but she just knew to do it.
Right.
That's something that she's obviously heard about before. Like the kids probably like. I mean, I feel like whenever I was a kid, especially I'll still do it now.
I'm trying to throw a man.
It's like you hear about the Force, you hear the things that these Jedis have done with the Force, and you're sitting there like going, I can pull this broom, and now you know.
I mean,
Now he's done it long enough. He's practiced it. He's tried. He's like, oh shit, I can actually do this.
yeah, and I think the whole idea of training gets misconstrued in the Star Wars mythos because I don't think it's necessarily that you have to have training to do any of these things. It seems really clear to me that Yoda fully expected Luke to lift the X-wing out of the swamp without any training whatsoever.
Yeah.
It's an understanding.
It's teaching yourself, like, it's a mind over matter thing.
Yeah.
It's teaching yourself to believe that you can do these things. And so for a child who sees this, he's like, oh, that's cool. Yeah, I can do that. Sure, why not?
Yeah.
Like, it's not a hard leap for a child to have those abilities. That's probably why they got them when they were children. One of the reasons.
That's why I want Starkiller back. Starkiller
Right.
as a child was like taking on Darth Vader.
Yeah.
It was
Yeah.
Briefly.
super fucking briefly, but it's still super potent moment.
Yeah.
You know.
Oh,
He
yeah.
was just kind of dumb.
Yeah.
He was a dog, really.
Yeah.
So, let's, I guess, give a favorite moment, least favorite moment, and an overall best out of 10 number to the movie.
Okay. I think it is. Can I go?
Whoever's ready
Alright.
first.
All right. Favorite moment: Kylo igniting the lightsaber that kills Snoke and pulling it towards Rey. And actually, I heard the moment where her hand comes up and grabs the lightsaber.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, when I first saw that, like, that was one of the moments where everybody like came alive in the theater.
You
And it
got
was
the
just
touch.
fucking. Yeah, you got the power.
Yeah.
When the hell's breaking loose, you'll be in the eye of the storm. Yeah, that was my favorite, and my least favorite was it was probably the I want to say Guillermo del Toro.
Introduction.
Benicio.
Yeah.
Not Guillermo.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Benicio del Toro. So many del Toros. Not his
So many.
introduction. I don't know. I guess just his interplay with. He just seemed out of place to me. It was a good performance. He's a great character actor. He always has been. It's just. I don't know. It's almost like good acting is out of place in a Star Wars movie. If that
Uncanny
makes
Valley of acting.
yeah,
Yeah.
like it's just like this guy feels like a real person. Like like there's so many archetypal roles and like it's almost like a
Yeah.
yeah morality play, but fucking he comes across as so like
He was supposed to come across as a more of a scummy person.
he's a moral relativist. He's like
Yeah.
he doesn't have a sense of like right or wrong. He just
Yeah, where the money is.
yeah he does what his need draws him towards.
Hang on.
Right. Okay. But I guess I don't know. I guess just that his whole arc just felt I don't know. Just for some reason to me,
Yeah, I can
it didn't
see
gel
that.
right.
Number?
Oh, 8.5 out of 10.
Agreed.
Cool.
Same.
Okay.
Gonna say.
Uh,
Go ahead.
I mean, I'm ready as well.
Alright, you wanna rock, paper, scissors?
Sure. Rock, paper, scissors.
One game, right?
Yeah.
Alright, so
That was a 9.
my favorite moment would definitely have to be the moment where Luke walks into the room and he says stop, like freaking out, and like the entire
Oh my
back just
God,
flies
yes.
off behind him. Oh my God, that was so powerful. Least favorite moment would have to be him holding up this ship, Del Toro holding it up whenever he's like, and then activates the door and it opens up to the reactor. That entire part just felt like there were stormtroopers walking around, you know what I mean? And they're all like, nobody's suspicious of what's going on. It was just way out of place for me.
False tension
Yes.
kind of thing.
Yeah. And so I actually agreed with Nolan's score. Solid 8.5. Like a lot of good in this movie. A little bad, but yeah, it goes with any movie. I'd probably
He
go for
wasn't
any movie I enjoyed an 8.5. Really.
he wasn't a code breaker at all. He
No.
was just a con artist
And that's
who
what
had to
exactly
break out
what
of a
he did.
jail cell.
Yeah.
Well, I mean,
he could go break.
Yeah,
He was in a jail cell at a casino. So
right. He still got through the shield. He still. Was
I mean,
one-
yeah, he
like,
was still
did-
able to hold
he
up
did-
his end of
he
the
got
bargain,
the
really.
Well, they needed.
He
the
just
code
ratted him
breaker-
out.
They needed the code breaker to get into the room or to
Yeah, to get the room.
Yeah, to
I
get
mean,
the
maybe
room.
he's-
cheap tactics.
I mean, maybe
because
he
stole
faked it
a
all,
ship
and
of
the
a-
First Order just did that for him to get them in a center area.
I
like-
thought they had caught them and then he turned.
He had already turned. Oh wait, maybe you might be right.
Yeah, he wouldn't have put himself in that position unless
I think he knew
You know.
it was. I think he.
he thought
I
he might
think
get away
I'm
with it.
thinking enough to understand that, like, when we walk in this room, they already know what's going on. You think they don't have sensors in here? You think they don't have alarms? I'm a lockpick. You know, I understand
Right.
how these things are going to work. And we got a bunch of unwelcome guests that just popped in this room. He set off the alarm. You know what I mean?
But it's
Well, we still haven't seen the rest of his characters, so
It's true.
Yeah, because he's still kind of up in the air to me because he has moments of altruism and moments of complete abandon.
yeah. Like he gave back the Rose's
Yeah,
necklace.
he didn't need to do that. He could have just kept it because it was apparently valuable and
Yeah.
that it was a high conductor.
Oh yeah.
Ricky?
Favorite scene would have to be the mirrors with Rey.
It's a good one.
It was so eye pleasing and just like almost a visual representation of the dark side for her, obviously. But
Yeah.
but we kind of it was on the island, so it had to be a balanced island, so you get to see both of the light and the dark side, and we get to discover like more of the dark side, just because we only really get to see much of just Siths and Emperors killing off each other.
Right.
Just all this dumb shit. But anyways, we got it. It was really eye pleasing to get to see that and experience that with her. Least favorite scene would be probably the casino. That would be the only place that was like terrible CGI, and it was just
Boring.
really boring. Yes.
Yeah.
Really boring. It was more filler for Rey and Rose, or not Rey and Rose. Finn and Rose. Yes. Sorry. But yeah.
It brought elements of class warfare into it.
Yeah,
It did.
but I mean that was more after, like once they actually got.
something.
Once they had gotten there.
No, it was actually Del Toro that showed them that point.
Well, no, Rose was the one who had that.
Did she?
Yeah.
Yeah, she. Like,
Yeah.
Remember, she's like, look closer.
Yeah.
Because she's
The really
showing
the
The
one
fact that
scene that
those
was just
people were
kind of
selling to both
awkward
sides
was
and shit.
the shirtless Kylo Ren
yeah,
scene.
that's,
And
what?
I read
Oh.
a couple different theories about it, and it was just one for like, eye candy, but there was also
No.
some more. Rey was actually seeing through the Force so well that she was seeing through layers of.
Yeah, that's
and-
both dumb.
And
So she has X-ray
Kylo
vision
wasn't actually
through the Force.
shirtless at the point, and he looked down in confusion and didn't mention anything of it.
I think it was just more like, this
She
is
gets-
my room. I'm not putting
Yeah.
my fucking...
It's like, I'm not putting on my shirt when we're forced talking.
Yeah.
Screw
It's
you.
like, you just showed up here, kind of.
I get that.
You're in my house.
Yeah.
This is my prefrontal cortex.
Overall
Asshole.
score, another 8.5.
Yeah, 8.5.
Well, our average is 8.5.
Would you give it 8.5?
Yeah.
It has 3.
You're gonna give it a 3? What?
No,
Terrible.
no, goddamn.
Go out of this house that you live in.
Least favorite scene is definitely the casino. For all the misplaced humor and the stupid CGI. And
The little drunk.
the little
guy
drunk thing.
putting
yeah,
coins
yeah.
in.
Yeah, that was dumb. I like that.
BB-8 giving him.
It felt as
fucking-
pointless as the song in the cantina, or not in the cantina, but in Jabba's
Yeah.
palace. Like, I didn't need that.
Yeah.
There was no point in that. There's no actual help or pushing forward of any story with that. It was dumb, and then a lot of the other characters as well. Just like I enjoyed the episode 7 cantina area with Maz. Yeah, that was
wonder who
nice.
she
That was
was-
cool. That was all over the
Yes.
place. But this one was just it pushed it. It was not. I just didn't like it. I
What
don't know.
was she doing? Was she running from the First Order? Or?
Who?
Maz.
Maz? No, she owned that bar.
No,
I know
yeah,
the bar
yeah.
got destroyed. If you didn't,
Oh yeah, no.
if you weren't there. The
Oh,
last
oh
time.
yeah, yeah. No, I
No,
wasn't there.
it was a union dispute. That's
Yeah.
what
Yeah.
she said. In
Uh,
this one.
But that could be anything. That's a union
Yeah,
dispute.
that's what makes it interesting.
Right.
It's like, what the fuck is Maz up to?
Yeah.
My favorite
He
right.
can do anything.
What the fuck is Coco up to?
Sorry.
standing needed to be standing.
Yes.
Yeah, I know. I feel you.
It's,
I'm getting there.
2.5 hours
Well,
to
here
sit
we're
down.
trying.
Standing.
If you'll just let me finish, and
Yeah.
then we got to get to him.
Go ahead.
Favorite would definitely just be like the ending, like the last stand at the plant on the planet. That
Yeah.
had like the salt, the red salt, and everything.
Yeah.
All the way from that point to the end is just that's the best. That all went really well.
That red
I
salt
feel
was-
like
I understand like the call out to the red salt.
no the Kylo Ren's like just fully diving into like becoming 100% emotional, letting the dark side like rage in him, sitting there like getting everybody to order to shoot down the Finn at me getting onto the edge of my seat almost literally as to if he's actually gonna die or not. And
It's funny though, he knew exactly
So was the
what
only
he
ship they had
wanted.
left was the Millennium Falcon?
Nice.
Everyone left and the Resistance could fit on the Millennium Falcon. I'm not sure if any other ships left, but that was
Kylo could have fucking destroyed them there. He knew where she was. He knew exactly where everybody was.
only thing about that last scene that I enjoyed it. I enjoyed it, but satirically. Shit, now I just forgot it. It's something cannon.
Battering ram
fucking
cannon.
Battering ram. No, there's even a pause in
That's a
between.
thing.
He goes battering ram cannon. It's just like.
So you know.
By the way, it's like Ruby. It's also a gun.
That is a common siege weapon.
But no, that killed me. But yeah, no, that's and I would give it a 7.5 out of 10.
Damn.
Okay.
Step down.
Yeah, you did seem to enjoy it, just
Dare
a
you.
mite less than the rest of us.
Pointless.
But you did enjoy Justice League more, so we'll take yours with a grain of red salt.
That red salt in the movie.
all right.
Blood.
Tasty.
Least favorite. I'm gonna have to go with first arriving at the casino in Canto Bight. There are a lot of elements about that arc that I still enjoy, and I definitely enjoy the thematics of it. But just like the actual in the casino with the craps tables and the pipe organ and people in suits and everything, like it was just too much. Like it was like Vegas that had some aliens thrown in there. It didn't feel like
The casino in Futurama.
yeah, basically. Like it didn't feel like out of our universe. It felt like a futuristic alien version of our universe. So that's easily for me probably my least favorite scene. Like I said, there's still things about that whole sequence I enjoy. It's just that moment. Favorite though, that's a hard call. That's a really, really hard decision. Luke. I actually get more emotional every time I watch it and see Luke's last little speech to Kylo at the end. The everything you just said was wrong.
Yeah.
Like the rebellion is reborn. The war is just beginning, and I will not be the last Jedi. Like that's
Yeah.
a really, really good moment. But also the Rey's revelation with Kylo after the throne room scene. and her being the one to admit that her parents were nobodies, and just that
Powerful.
very, very, very powerful, and a very life-changing moment for her. Of everything you thought you knew or you wanted to know is gone. It doesn't matter. The resistance is falling. Your parents don't matter. That whole theme and tension of the movie of let the past die, kill it if you have to, and where Rey and Kylo Ren fall on that spectrum is put at the forefront in that moment. So I'm probably gonna have to go with that. But as much as I love Luke's Last Stand, you covered that in yours, and I think that for me, that's probably the more emotionally impactful moment was Rey having that realization or acceptance in that moment. And before I give my number, I do want to say that there's no reason to believe that Kylo Ren is lying. Like, it doesn't matter.
About her parents?
Yes.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter how evil you make a character, never, ever make them lie. And if you do, establish the
conspiracy
and verify it. Like in Star Wars, Ben told Luke that Vader killed his father. Vader said he was his father, and Yoda confirmed it. In this movie, Luke says that he sensed the dark side in Ben and been attacked. Ben says that Luke attacked him and he defended himself, and then Luke confirmed, I was going to attack him, I decided not to, but it was too late. Like, anytime there's a lie in fiction, you always have to establish that trifecta. There hasn't been any of that. In fact, looking back, it seems very obvious to me now that her parents were nobody. Like, it's clear in the vision that she's just left, and it's clear from what Maz says that, you know, what you're looking for isn't behind you but ahead of you. Like, it's very clear if you can go back and with that knowledge of she isn't anybody special. Yeah, they kind of give that away very, very clearly in the last one. And bold move, but I'm glad they made it, because it establishes her as being something special and more universal than this mythos of the Star Wars, of the Skywalker legacy.
Skywalkers.
Yeah.
Number
sounds so cool. Legendary Skywalkers. Yeah.
They don't really walk on the sky at all.
Yeah.
They probably could.
Well,
Luke probably could definitely walk on the sky.
Leia did it.
Yeah, Leia did it.
She sure did.
Is the sky space? Space the sky.
Number.
Semantics?
If Empire is a 9.5, then I'm gonna. What?
I was giving away your number. Sorry. Go ahead.
What do you think?
9.
Yep. 9.1, somewhere in there.
Right. It was a very
Which would
solid.
make this average of about 8.4, 8.3
Yeah, something like that.
for my group.
And I honestly need to.
I was gonna give it an 8, but I really like decimals.
I need to watch it again after it's
I need 4.
out on home video, because I never got to see the originals in theaters,
Backwards.
so it's not really
Shit.
fair to judge Empire against this when I've actually gotten to see this one in theaters. So I need to see it as,
Right.
you know, in a more condensed, less hype
Disrespectful.
format.
I can
to
clean it
really
off.
say.
It takes no time to clean off.
It may end up being my favorite overall of the entire franchise.
I like to do an extended cut.
Disrespect. That's my grandfather's
You
head.
know,
Mm-hmm.
How do you think about that?
I thought
I know you
that
did.
Apologies.
not the one that I'd said the last time we had the conversation. I thought there was another. I thought I had heard something about there being another extended cut, but I might be mistaken on that. I might be thinking about something else. But there seems like there's some chunks of information that could be put in, unless you're planning on saving like certain Leia's, you know, cuts and everything else, which I could understand. But It feels like there's some pieces missing.
It's such a big universe, and everything and all the characters are so like in some regard fleshed out that any moment could be made into its own movie, to its own franchise. You kind of have to pick what's important to the story. That's why a character like Phasma doesn't get much attention. If she comes back, she'll get 5 to 10 minutes in the next movie. She's never going to be a major focus of these movies.
That's what I say when she does what I was gonna say. When she does come back, she's going to be, Ben, you son of a bitch! Look at me! Look at my face! Look what you did to me! And then
Yeah, this is personal
Yeah,
now.
and Finn finishes the job because it actually becomes somewhat of an adept fighter
Right.
now. And
He's still a goofy, klutzy motherfucker.
hey, man, Pacific
He's still got a lot of comic relief as a character.
He does, definitely. But I mean, I'm okay with that. I mean, him and Poe both, and BB-8, and Luke,
And Rey. And Chewie.
and Chewie. God,
And Princess Leia. They all have moments that make you laugh.
vegetarian Chewie.
They all make you laugh way more than any other. Like
He's not
it
a
was much.
vegetarian. He just doesn't want to look
There's
a
so much
member
more
of one
comedy in
species
this
the
movie than I
eye while
feel
he's
like.
eating one of them.
I mean, at least episode 7 had some, but episode 8 just every other moment could be like taken away with like a fun, like something comical happening,
Yeah.
except for the end.
I think that's true of all of them.
Yeah.
Like
There's a lot of humor in these movies.
the funny thing is, like, everyone's like, they're pulling a Marvel, but Marvel is taking their cues from the original Star Wars movies. Like, that's what wrote the Star Wars and Jaws is what wrote the book on blockbuster movies. Like, action, adventure, suspense, enough comedy to keep your audience like entertained and like immersive and everything.
That's
like,
a lot of fish.
Yeah. Like, it's all just feeding back into itself. Yeah, you can say that Star Wars is taking some cues from Marvel, but Marvel took their cues from Star Wars first. Like,
Whoa.
Yeah.
Chicken or the egg, man.
the eggs been around much longer than chicken.
Yeah, I know.
said
Yeah,
chicken.
yeah.
I said
Dinosaurs had
I said
chickens.
chicken because
Eggs.
Dinosaurs had chickens.
Which came first, the creature or its new way to do?
The creature,
But
because
the
the
eggs
were
creature had to
forever
evolve.
before, yeah.
Well, I mean, it doesn't have to necessarily come from an egg to be able
The
to
creature
evolve
comes from
into-
microorganisms.
But it absolutely
Right.
does, because that's how chickens evolved, was from dinosaurs that
Right,
laid
but
eggs.
The dinosaurs evolved from sort of the single-cell organisms.
I mean,
Not to
Not
immediately.
directly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. Is that's why I
Yeah,
said
I'm
chicken
ready.
came first, because like the species had to evolve in order to gain the ability to deliver. an
We are
egg.
literally having the
This is
most
so off
basic
Yep.
of a
Like-
semantic argument you can possibly have.
No, I think this is.
Talk about this on Desert Science.
What a solid giggle.
But
good point, Ricky. Merry Christmas, you guys.
Happy New Year.
Have a happy New Year. And we will see you guys in a few weeks. You're wrong about The Last Jedi unless you loved it.
Last Jedi was a good movie.
It's
Freedom.
It's pretty good. 4 out of 5. Wait. 5 out of 5.
Wait.
Hashtag
Nah,
Corey.
nah,
Hashtag
nah.
Corey Roof.
8 out of 9.
10
See
out
you
of-
next year, yo.
10 out of 10.
Freedom!
I can stretch my fucking legs.
Freedom!
Yeah, I told you, like my knees were dying.
I can't leave.
Yeah. I saw you just keep switching back and forth, and I was like, you feeling trapped
Okay.
right now?
The first animal to be born that you could call a chicken was hatched from an egg.